to be back in Miami. It's time for magic as lights go out and we go racing. Racing where the beach meets the boulevard. All they touch, big hit in the heat. Sand and speed, everything you need. Contact, chaos, carnage, pure pace under the palm trees.
Man, who was that?
Speed in the sunshine. Formula E flat out in Florida. Fantastic, fantastic.
Welcome to the Miami E-Prix. It's the third time Formula E has raced in Miami, but it's not the first time we've raced in America. This adds yet another venue. Miami, city centres, then we went over to Long Beach. We've raced everywhere. It is incredible. This is how the championship looks. Cassidy comes in on 40 points with Jake Dennis on 36. Ollie Rowland's on 34 with Pascal Verlin 23. Edo Mortara's on 18. Taylor Barnard and Nico Muller on 12. Muller, though, will go up 4 with pole position. His first one ever. Gunther's on 8. Boehm's on 7. John Erikson's on 6. Well, the drivers arrived in, all ready to go. Nick de Vries as well has ended up having a very good day. He lines up 4th on the grid. Joel Eriksson as well, a little bit better than what we were expecting. He's 6th on the grid. Pascal Verlaine, bad qualifying. He's down in 12th place. So a lot more to do as we get ready. Ollie Rowland, he starts 11th, just 1 place better. Not good from last year's champion. Jake Dennis was complaining early on, but he has managed 15th on the grid. Is that power unit really a problem as his teammate starts in 2nd? And Nick Cassidy, our championship leader, looking ever so splendid, now bald. He lines up on the grid as well, down the order in 7th place. I'm Joshua Birch, alongside me is Jack Giamana, alongside as well Omi. And well, Jack, looking at this, it's our 3rd stop on the 17 race calendar, filled with double headers, but is this a new permanent home for Formula E in Miami?
Yes, I really do think so. That it is a permanent home. Like, I think Miami is the right place for Formula E. I think it's a really good location, great city name. And fingers crossed that, you know, we're going to have some good racing. Arguably, the track should be a bit longer. You know, under a minute is probably not the best look, but fingers crossed going into next year in Gen 4 that will be the case.
Omi taking a look at the circuit as well. As Jack just said, it's a bit shorter, but it is on Formula 1 built ground. Attack mode down turn 4. What are your thoughts on this circuit?
It's short, isn't it? It's short, but I mean, if it can deliver a good bit of racing, even if it's a bit of a shorter race, then I guess to some degree we can't complain. We can't just be absolutely annoyed. I guess we'll take what we can from this year, and then for next year, hope that they can increase it or some things can go on. But yes, hoping that we can get above the 40-minute mark and also have a good contest from start to finish.
39 laps is scheduled for us here this evening. Let's see how far we get. There's a look at the track from yesterday before the start of the first practice session, and a look down the pit lane as well. Jack, we've been told by Nick Golding the fact is that it is actually starting to rain over there in Miami. We don't know how hard yet. Now, I know JT will be able to show us a weather forecast in a few moments' time, so there's a little bit of a heads up so he can explain it to us once we've done with you two's questions. But Jack, this is going to be nuts because we've also lost our live timings.
Sticky fingers with the mute button. Yeah, the lifetime was fingers crossed that will come back. But yeah, it depends now how much is it raining? Is it just a light drizzle? Is it how much is it going to affect the track? And so forth. And obviously, if it is a wet race, then that will obviously improve the lap time of towards a minute. So we'll have a bit of a longer race. But energy efficiency will be less of an issue. Therefore, those at the back of the grid, they're going to struggle.
Yeah,
you know, the likes of Mortara, the likes of those people, they're going to really struggle today to try and get through that field. Whereas if it's a dry race, they might have a chance.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the one thing that a couple of the guys were banking on, especially Boehme, who's received both a 3-place grid penalty and a 5-place grid penalty for contacts during the qualifying session as well. Degrassi has a 3-place grid penalty as well, as he was the slowest in Group A. They're starting at the back. They wanted to come through the field with a peloton-style race. If it does rain heavier, it's going to be, as Jack says, a slow processional race.
Yeah. And that's exactly why we're all just hoping to try and avoid it as well. We want an exciting and interesting contest. We want one where those drivers at the back can try and make their way through and get themselves to higher positions. But, you know, who knows about how this weather forecast is going to go. Of course, as you mentioned, JT will soon be giving us some analysis on what could be some possibilities. He nailed it with his call earlier on in terms of when rain could possibly come. So if there's anyone we can trust, it's him.
Yes, and we'll hear from him in a few seconds' time. So let's boot up the weather radar and say good afternoon to Josh Turner. JT, what have you got for us then? Because we've got a bit more rain coming down. I think it's just started raining on this pre-recorded bit of the TV feed because Korean Chanuk's just gone to get an umbrella. What are you seeing on the radar?
Yes, I absolutely love, well, no, I hate dealing with Miami weather and Florida weather because it changes every single second. But I love it when you say something's going to happen in 80 to 100 minutes and it happens within 80 to 100 minutes of me saying that. Here's the radar. There's the track in the center and the joys of this being touchscreen and having a Stream Deck to control it so we don't have a cursor all over the place. I'm going to zoom out. Oh boy.
Oh.
Luckily, and this is where I get my... This is where the full capabilities of actually having a touchscreen to draw on, JB.
Your Apex pad is
comes
working
into
better than my
handy.
Apex pad.
This, I think, all that, oh my god, that worked well.
Yep.
All of that is going to miss us, as you can see if I play the
Yeah, it's
playback.
moving upwards, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all of... It's
Yep.
all of this,
That's blowing down towards the circuit.
which, as you can see,
Hmm.
we're going to have this come up. I don't know why I picked red, I just did. But yeah, there's the circuit. And I believe what's in between
Is what we're
those two
experiencing
lines
now.
is
Well,
going to hit.
it is interesting because what's the wind speed like over there as well? Because we've lost live timings, and Nick said it was raining. I'm just wondering if there was a correlation between the two. It started raining, and Alcamel have lost their timing systems.
Well, I could go onto a website and have a look at the wind speed, but what's the point in that? That is how much it moves in 3 minutes, JB.
That is quite a lot of distance, and there's more rain coming up from the behind of it. So
And when I worked it out in the middle of qualifying, it was moving at around 43 miles per hour. That by the way is the late. It's not moving as much now, but that is
3 minutes
that's
worth.
how much it moves in 3 minutes. And this is live because it is 6:10 now, and this is a radar scan from 6:10. So this is live. We've got a little bit of a gap, but we also have to remember what happens when we're near to the radar site. So the radar site is here,
Yep.
and you can see, if I get rid of that, you can see how where the circle of the radar is, there's a little blank spot
Just around it. The radar black
around-
spot, yeah.
So anything that is really close to the radar, you can't see because of how close it is.
Yeah.
Which means the further you get away from the radar, so like probably around here, anything outside, anything inside of that is hidden under the radar itself. Which is why when I sent you the stuff in qualifying,
It looks a lot better.
why I just squiggled out that bit, because it's not important.
Mm.
Now we could go over to this radar over here, and you can see how it all looking at different radars is important as well. You can see how you've got. Oh, I should probably enable the drawing tool. You've got this band here, as well as this band here.
And they're coming towards the circuit now.
They're coming towards the circuit, but if we go back to this, you can see how bigger it looks on this radar compared to how small it looks on this radar.
Yeah, a lot of issues.
Same here, where you can see on the around that radar circle how little it looks compared to if you go to a radar site a little bit further away. You can see how much bigger it looks. So, but yeah, in fact, JB,
what have you got for me?
You can see here how we all thought that this was going to miss. Well, we've had this little bit branch out, and it's getting stronger as it goes back out onto sea. Same with this bit here. That might just miss us, but that top bit might just get. But yes, rain in Miami. We've gotten used to talking about rain in Miami, JB, across all of the series we cover. But I've got a feeling it might be a little bit of a damp one.
Safe to say.
If it carries on to what we are seeing on the radar. I'm going to shut up now because the rolling laps for the Champions of Champions has just started, so I'm going to go behind the scenes. Adios. There is your weather radar. I will keep that up for you.
Thank you, boys, as well. Thank you, JT. So, yeah, this is going to be quite an interesting one. Omi, as Nikki says in the chat, basically a lot of rain very quickly. Yeah, basically. But also, we have timing 71, which is coming incredibly handy the last couple of weeks. So we've got that enabled that will be able to bring you some information from the race if our main service doesn't resume. Because green light to get to the grid is in about 7 minutes' time, and we've got nothing yet. So slightly alarming.
Slightly alarming, but yes, of course we have a backup. Of course we have something ready for you in case everything else does fail. But yes, the weather is quite interesting. And, you know, we were referencing the F1 Academy race last year that got cancelled. Well, I had JT doing the exact job he is doing right now as well with the weather. And I mean, he made it very clear to us that it wasn't going to get underway. And believe it or not, it didn't get underway. So yes, everybody trust JT with his absolutely brilliant weather analysis and, of course, predictions as well. But yes, hopefully we'll be able to get going today, though. And it's not as bad as all of the storms and everything that we had. But I have to say, though, I'm saying that, but also the live timings possibly have been blown out to some degree. So, you know.
Well, Jack, what are you making of this? When we do eventually get going, it's going to be a great race. Nico Muller, first time ever on pole position.
I don't know, actually. With the rain, it's kind of like, well, what can that do in terms of, you know, it's going to make things very interesting, but I don't know if it will shake up. The grid's already shaken up. If anything, we needed this peloton race to shake it up. So if you're Nico Muller right now, you're probably putting your hands together, rubbing them together, saying, right, this is what I want. Because, you know, are we going to get a standing start? Are we going to get a safety car start? We saw what happened in Shanghai last season. We had the safety car start. Nick Cassidy went and won, you know, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Right? From there, no contestant whatsoever. It was too hard. Attack mode meant nothing, you know, because you couldn't put the power down. So it might be a really it might have gone from a potentially really interesting race to maybe a bit of a what's the word, pedestrian or you know, like just a bit average race.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, cheers, boys. Take a back burner for a few moments because now let's go back and take a look at what's happened across the weekend so far with highlights from practice 1, 2 and qualifying from a few moments ago. Free practice 1 for the Miami E-Prix got underway on Friday evening. The drivers went out onto the circuit in cloudy conditions as we expected to see much of that over the weekend. But after the rookie session in the morning, it was the first chance that the actual drivers got to go around the new Miami International Autodrome layout, specifically now for Formula E. Antonio Felix da Costa had a little bit of a moment coming through the turn 6-7 chicane, taking a bit too much entry speed and oversteer. That's going to become critical during the qualifying and the race itself. Down at turn 1, a few lockups coming from Nico Muller, snatching the front right, just going very too deep on the inside brake. Take a listen on board as we head down towards that first corner. Back up to speed though, and it was a fly run for Andretti. They've got a new livery this weekend and they are going fast. A Bumblebee Sting looks to be coming their way as Felipe Djokovic impressed in the first practice session as he comes in to his third weekend of action. Hopefully he's going to have a lot better results. Citroën also looking strong after their victory last time out. Fingers crossed as well that Nick Cassidy, who's got bald this weekend, is going to be able to retain the championship advantage. Down into the hairpin, the sun was beginning to set, which means that bright lights was a factor for the drivers the later the session went on. A little bit of a lock-up coming through from Joel Eriksson. An exterior shot of what the Miami International Autodrome looks like. You can see it's using parts of the Formula One layout and also parts that specifically have been designed when the season came in. The curbs at turns 6 and 7 are going to provide some of the most interesting action, proving you can go too wide through here, but the curbs are sausage curbs. It's very uncomfortable for the drivers getting thrown about on the inside of the cockpit. Case in point, coming through later on, you can hear from Eduardo Mortara the deceleration you get if you just skip part of the front wing coming out of turn 9 and 10, the small kinks. But Mortara was absolutely flying. A good session from him in practice 1 this morning, but still, he was reporting over the radio that there wasn't something quite right with the car. So even though he was quick, the time on the car probably could find something later. Lola again improving as we take a look to the drone camera through turn 6 and 7, once more hoping that we're going to see a faster run in qualifying. Hard Rock Stadium makes a beautiful sight to see. As you see, the sun setting was a bit of a problem for drivers in the last 10 minutes of the session. It burned away some of the clouds and the fog, but drivers oversteering, struggling to see the braking zones and cars in front of them. It was pretty much a duel at dusk. Down into the braking zone, hard as you take the inside line through. Dan Tinctum ended the session fastest of all, but he did complain about the setting sun both in practice 1 and practice 2, so he couldn't see a single thing. Da Costa and Cassidy going side by side when drama. Da Costa clattering into the side of Cassidy, just momentary side-by-side action. It was Dan Tinctum, though, who topped the first practice session on Friday night. Free practice 2 got underway amongst the fog down at Miami Beach. It was beautiful sunny skies which quickly darkened, but the problems that had the drivers in practice 1 still greeted them at 7:30 in the morning. Fog may have lifted, blinding sun was another factor. It was impossible to see. It resulted in several drivers locking up and going straight on down at turn number 14. Eduardo Mortara becoming the first driver to do so. Visibility at a premium then, but it didn't stop the action continuing on. There's another look at Mortara just locking up on the inside front left. Then Sebastian Buemi diving through on the inside of Nick Cassidy. Cassidy blocking and a small contact. Buemi has been in the walls a lot at that last corner, but Cassidy just coming across, trying to start a lap time. Buemi on the inside on a push lap, too hot. Two drivers just coming together. It was a reprimand given for Nick Cassidy. Buemi absolutely furious, hands up before deciding that coming into the pit lane would be the best option. It was a good action-packed through the chicane, though. Very good from Taylor Barnard. He topped the session and looked very, very strong indeed with the quickest full-power lap time. But he was battling the conditions as well as everybody else. Drivers struggling to see. Barnard even reporting that he couldn't see anything with the visor he had on. A clear strip. Lucas de Grassi went strong early on, so did Zane Maloney. The two Lola Yamaha Apt were strong in the early pace of 350 kilowatt lap times at four-wheel drive. Zane Maloney could have a very interesting race later on if it is true that we're going to have a peloton-style race. But his teammate, even though it started well, did run into problems later on in the session. Last year's world champion Oliver Rowland locking up with the 6-7 chicane, just going straight on. He had to come into the pit lane to make sure that the brakes were working. The front end of the regeneration four-wheel drive not working, and had to have a little bit of work done. After claiming they couldn't do it in 2 minutes, the team did it in less than that. Grand Theft Auto scenery at the side as that game launches later on this year in Miami base, but it will be called Vice City. Who's going to vice out in qualifying as well and be the top dog, because the conditions in the morning were the best that we're probably going to see all day, with rain predicted further. Mitch Evans, just a slight touch on the inside, coming through in towards turn 11, takes too much exit speed and almost loses it, running onto the Formula 1 layout, proving that if you get it wrong at turn 11, it'll spit you out wide. Dan Ticktum complained a lot about visibility, and he got blocked on one of his fast runs at one of the hardest parts of the track to see. Had to really lock up and steer out wide. The man fastest in practice one wasn't happy about what was going on. And then contact. Mitch Evans completely bystandering. De Grassi coming in too hot. Slam. De Grassi not seeing Evans on the inside. Evans not seeing De Grassi, but De Grassi completely out of shape. This is on board with Mitch Evans. Watch as he just turns in, not knowing. Gave De Grassi plenty of room. De Grassi came in out of nowhere. That punctured the radiators and set off the fire extinguisher inside the car. Too hot, and off goes the fire extinguisher. That brought out the red flag and a premature end to practice 2. De Grassi saying that he could have brought it back to the pits, but with the fire extinguisher off, you have to stop the car at the nearest point. So the red flag came out and no practice starts could be completed, and that prematurely ended the second practice. Just look at the damage to the side pod of the Lola. Luckily, that car would be repaired ahead of the next session, but Taylor Barnard topped practice 2. On to qualifying, and Group A got underway. Just 10 cars allowed in each of the 10-minute sessions, stuck at 300 kilowatts per hour. While the first session was going to be very eventful with the odd number of drivers in that running. So Cassidy, Rowland, along then with Mortara, Muller, Boemi, Marty, De Vries, Nato, Evans, De Grassi, all going out there. De Grassi and Nato immediately blocked up by Oliver Rowland coming down in towards the last corner at turn 13. And then Mortara on the inside line getting contact with Sebastian Boemi. Boemi been given a grid penalty as a result. Mortara getting blocked on his fastest run as Boemi was starting to run. Just a little bit of an argy-bargy as Boemi tried to push out of the last corner, and Mortara on a hot lap coming through using the usual U line, Boemi on a V line. It was early success for Norman Nato. He topped Group A alongside with Cassidy in second, De Vries in third, and Muller in fourth. Ollie Rowland missing out. He went 6th fastest. Lucas de Grassi in 10th. Those who missed out were Evans, Rowland, Marty, Boemi, Mortara and De Grassi. On to group number 2 then, and that had Dennis alongside Verline, Barnard, Gunther, Eriksson, Vern, Maloney, Da Costa, Drugovic and Dan Ticktum. Another 10-minute session to get underway at 300 kilowatts per hour. It was a better session in terms of track speed. Pascal Wehrlein missing. He went up as well, down in 6th position. A mistake, taking too much of the entry curb, oversteer on one of his fastest runs. He was 6th in the group stages. Errors costing him at every opportunity. A very messy opening lap from the Porsche driver, and things did not improve. Dan Ticktum, he was out also, finished in 9th, complained a lot about the track and he had no grip at all. So it was Barnard, DaCosta, Ericsson, Djokovic going through. Gunther, Wehrlein, Maloney, Dennis, Ticktum and Verne were out as we got through to the duels. Duel 1 saw De Vries versus Cassidy. Once again, they're having an attack on the front, and hopefully it wasn't too bad. Cassidy making a small mistake on the lap. It gave it to Nick De Vries. He went through with a faster time despite being second out. Norman Nato as well was next up in his quarter-final duel alongside Nico Muller. But Nato went too deep at turn 13 and gifted Muller a slot in Duel B. Nico Muller, however, very lucky to be in the duels at all. Too much curb at the 6-7 chicane unsettled his lap. Not one of the best that we've got so far. The next duel brought out DaCosta versus Ericsson. And DaCosta absolutely flew on the lap time, beating him through for place in the semi-finals. The final quarter-final brought out Felipe Drugovich versus Taylor Barnard. Drugovich has been looking fast, and it's the first time he's made it through into the duels. He makes it through to the semi-finals. Out went Taylor Barnard. So next up, it was all eyes on what we could see between De Vries and Muller as the semi-finals got underway. First up, blood went to Muller. He was quicker than De Vries, and Porsche going through. Fleuer modelling are delighted. Semi-final also saw DaCosta versus Drugovich. And to everybody's surprise, it was Felipe Drugovich who managed to get ahead of DaCosta by 1/1000th of a second, and he went through to the first final. Final time, Muller versus Drugovich. Muller went out first. Felipe Drugovich lined up behind him, just waiting to go at the usual 15-second delay. Muller was pushing hard. Drugovich had a messy final lap, which means between either of them, their first pole positions in Formula E, the checker flag went down, and Nico Muller qualified on pole position for the first time in Formula E, and he is at the top of the field ahead of this afternoon's Miami E-Prix. Wonderful wrap up then on what we've seen so far this weekend. Delighted to say our live timings have come available. Literally, I'll show it to you because you may as well. I just made this. The backup battle screen in case they didn't come back, but the live timings have come back, so what a waste of time that was. Really then, Omi, coming to you quickly as well. Felipe Drugovich, second in the running order. He's good at street circuits. We remember his time in Formula 2 very well. Can he take advantage of these mixed conditions and jump up the field? This is, of course, going to be his first wet/damp Formula E race.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a possibility of him being able to do something like that. So we'll see how he gets on. But yeah, a great qualifying. He definitely was a driver who looked motivated and looked very good. And even with the second place, yeah, he'll be disappointed. But, you know, he's in there. He's in the mix. And in Formula E, you need to be in the mix and you've got a chance. Yeah, Jack, previous best career start was 17th, and now, of course, with Drugovich being in P2, Andretti have now qualified on the front row at every Miami E-Prix. That's a huge, huge ask. Can he take it one further? Can Andretti win this race?
I think if it's raining, then 100%. Like, if it, you know, it looks wet. I'm just having a look at the TV pictures now. But yeah, it's intermediate. It's not significantly wet, but it's intermediate level to sort of best describe it. So I think that plays into Drugovich's hands. I think there will be less commotion coming out from him from behind. I reckon the field might be a bit more spread.
Yeah.
I might be talking out absolute rubbish here because we don't know what's actually going to happen, but I think that helps Dragovic because you've only got one person to overtake, and if you've only got one person to overtake, then fingers crossed, you've got a good chance of trying to win this race.
I've just seen on the YouTube chat with Nikki's. Did you see my message twice? Yes, we saw it. Miami twice. That's an Only Fools and Horses joke, if anybody wants to see it. Come on, Liz, I appreciate it. No, I don't think it would be. Okay, right, JT, let's go down to you because you've been taking a look at the weather radar and you've got a couple of more things you want to tell us. We're on screen now.
Okay, so yeah, in my earlier part, I was talking about these different two types of radars and how you've got the blank spots of the radars and you've got all of the bits of weather that hide underneath the radars. And we were going between these two radars, and we saw how there's not a lot on this one, but there's quite a lot on this one. Now, I can tell you why that is, and this is new to me. I thought that
Sorry, go on.
I thought that the yellow center, if it will let me draw, please. Incredible scenes. There we go. I thought the yellow center there
Yeah.
meant that data was out of date because down here in the bottom left of the corner, you have the date and the time of that radar that's selected. Now, next to it, you have a green dot, and that means that the data is up to date. So I thought that's what that yellow dot meant, but no. The yellow dot is a clear air radar compared to a precipitation radar. This is the precipitation radar in precipitation mode, and this is the clean air mode. We know that by the box up here on the top, VCP 80 clear air mode. Or I would turn it into 3D mode, but it looks absolutely hideous. So I have done some research, and this is from the NOAA and the National Weather Service. Clean air mode is a high sensitivity setting for clear weather that slowly scans to detect light particles like dust or insects, updating every 10 minutes, whereas precipitation mode is used for rain and snow. It scans faster across more angles, around 14 to 15 angles, for like a 3 to 6 minute update rate to track weather intensity. So, in other words,
it's going to be raining.
That is the rain we're dealing with.
Cheers, JT.
To put it lightly, that is the rain we are dealing with, and it's incredible that I knocked my stream deck off its stand. I can't control it. There we go. So as you can see, still moving in the same direction, and we have more on the way. And perfect example, actually, JB.
Yeah.
Of the weather going into the blind spot of the radar. You see here,
yes,
how it is all as one. We go to the next frame, it gets a little bit jagged.
Yeah.
We go to the next frame, gets even more jagged. Then when we get right under the radar, completely disappears. Next frame, you can see it starts forming back up the other end. Which is why when we have race circuits right under a radar, for example, let me find one real quick. I believe Charlotte.
Yeah.
For example, having a clean air radar here for Charlotte Motor Speedway under that. But anyway, back to Miami. Lot of rain, but it's not red intensity. It's only blue to green, which is like drizzle to light rain, but enough to cause a little bit of chaos.
Thanks, JT. Right, let's head down to the grid and join Nikki and Karun.
Is it going to be wet?
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, I think it'll be quite a hectic race with this, but yeah, hopefully not so much saving as well. So yeah, I think we'll be flat out pretty much since the beginning. So yeah, it'll be quite different.
I mean, you've done a fantastic job in qualifying. You haven't done a wet race before, these mixed conditions before in Formula E. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, all the experience I have in the wet is pretty much what I had in Berlin last year. So yeah, I think we'll be able to remember a little bit those moments and try to capitalize on it. But yeah, to be fair, it's just trying to survive, do the best I can, as everything is new for me. So yeah, just trying to do the best.
Felipe, did qualifying feel different today than the last two, or do you feel like something's just clicked, obviously this being your third race in your first season?
I think just something just clicked. We changed a lot of things in the car, and yeah, I think for the first time I could feel like I was driving the car and not the car driving me. So yeah, I felt pretty well in the car, and hopefully it won't be just this one. Hopefully the next ones I can keep building from this.
Lovely stuff. All eyes will be on you, that's for sure. Thank you, Lewis, for that umbrella. Much appreciated. Right, okay, should we go and see our pole man?
Yeah, Nico Muller.
Before he escapes us.
Yes, he is. Where's he standing? He's standing by the wall. Here, let's try and grab a word with him. Nico, can we grab a quick word? Yeah.
This is a nice view, isn't it? Look at that smile, despite the weather, radiating with happiness and positivity.
Exactly, yeah. Looking forward to go racing. I think it will be a very, very exciting one because, you know, the weather is playing its part. The energy is very limited in this race. Slipstream has a big effect. So, yeah, honestly, I think we'll all have to find out what awaits us in the first couple of laps. Nobody really knows what to expect in detail, but we're ready for different scenarios and hopefully can make the most of it.
Nico, I was just explaining to the viewers, obviously in Formula E we have an all-weather tyre, so there's no choice between slicks and wets. But choosing the right tyre pressures is super critical, right? When do you have these conversations? How close to the start can you make that decision?
I mean, we have been discussing basically since the end of qualifying, right? What we do in case of something like we just have now in terms of conditions. And I think we have to just, you know, decide as late as possible, depending on what we have in the moment, right? Trying to read what is going to come in the next hour is so difficult. We know it's wet at the moment, so we hopefully, you know, make the right call for the first few laps and hang on to the end.
Yeah, you've got some important conversations. We'll leave you to it.
Thanks so much, Nico. Ah, it's really lovely, isn't it, when a driver, after you know putting so much effort in, gets that first pole position. Let's have a quick word with Antonio Felix da Costa, if we may. I'm going to kind of hide under here with you. Obviously new to Jaguar TCS Racing this season. Are we going to see some points on the board? This is looking positive.
The others were looking positive too, and unfortunately it's still reading 0. So that is the goal. Get out of here with a handful of points. So yeah, looks like the weather's coming to play. We'll see what happens.
Who do you think your biggest rivals are going to be at the start of this race? You know, you got Felipe Drugovich.
Between P1 and P22 at the moment.
What do you think the race is going to be like in the wet? Because there's two different ways to go about it, right? One is you take the attack mode early, cycle the front, have good visibility, stay out of trouble, or do you wait for the end? Which do you prefer?
I like your first option, but I don't think it's wet enough for that. And the thing is, if the rain stops at this level, it'll dry up quick, and you'll need the attack modes at the end. So, honestly, mate, it's
better you than us.
You guys will have fun. Take the popcorn.
Excellent. I quite fancy a little bit of popcorn right now. Good luck. Stay as dry as you possibly can. I mean, do they get absolutely drenched in the rain?
They will. Hang on, there's a couple of drivers here. I want to grab a word
which way
with
are you
Will Power.
going? Oh.
Well, nice to see you here on the grid. Two-time IndyCar champion, Indy 500 winner. First time in Formula E?
It is the first time. Having a great time, actually. It's very technical car, and I think the rain's going to make it a lot of fun. So looking forward to watching this.
And you've obviously joined Andretti after a long time at Penske. What's it like being, in the Andretti pit garage here? It's quite different to your world, isn't it?
It is different, yeah. I mean, it looks very Formula One-ish, the way they set everything up. But at the end of the day, the driver's getting the car. It's got 4 wheels, and you've got to extract the most time out of it It's very interesting to have a differential on the front axle. That's amazing. So, yeah, I've been very intrigued at how the cars work, and now I really want to drive one. I want to see what it feels like.
All right, listen, you've got some good contacts. I'm sure you'll sort it out.
Thanks very much, Will. Now, there might be a few more drivers heading up this week because they've got their photo at the front, and also the national anthem will be taking place in a minute. In fact, I think the national anthem is about to start here in Miami. A special moment indeed.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free, and the home of the brave?
Well, the party atmosphere is building up here in Miami. There's now a concert down there on the main stage, which I guess is very, very apt to come into it. Welcome, everybody, if you're tuning in for the first time here on Formula E Zone and JB Motorsports. There's a lot to play up as well. Omi, coming to you quickly. The rain is now coming down. It's getting heavier. You were commentating at the Formula One Academy race when the rain was just like this. Just tell us, what are we going to be looking forward to? What do we have to expect with the track ever much getting damper and damper?
Of course, you of course have to consider that the grip levels and everything that of course will go down with it. Of course, in F1 Academy's case, it was really just not a race at all. But for Formula E at the moment, it appears like, you know, we are going to get some form of a race, but definitely well, let's say a difference of what we would usually get from the dry to the wet could be, of course, the driver levels of aggression out there on the circuit, in terms of they'll of course have to be quite cautious with what they do, and you know, the attack mode and how all of that works, that can also differ quite a lot in terms of the effect it has. So the style of racing, let's just say, can very much change.
Yeah, Jack, this is going to be quite an exciting 39 laps. I suppose with the wet weather, this is going to bring down the time a little bit. So we might actually see a plus 40-minute race, which makes it better for the fans, as we've been on about all weekend long.
Yeah, I fully agreed, but I don't know. I feel like it's thrown everything up in the air. The race that we were expected to see, we don't know if we're going to see that race right now. So those who have qualified well at the front are in prime position, but I think that means there's more chances then for accidents and, you know, maybe collisions down into that final corner, because we've seen collisions already, you know, and attack mode, and they're wondering if attack mode maybe, right, if attack mode will be used towards the end. So it'd be really, because you have to think now, when do you want to use your attack mode? Do you want to use your attack mode early and get them out of the way, or are you thinking that there's going to be a break in this weather and the track's going to dry up somewhere, and then all of a sudden
it doesn't?
that's the right time. No, the track dries up, and then
Oh,
you've
it
got
does.
the attack, and you've got attack mode at the right time to go and win the race.
Are we expecting attack mode to be a critical factor here today? Because what we've got from the stewards is, and what they've been telling us, it's the usual activation. 2 activations, 8 minutes in total, 2 and 6, 4 and 4, 6 and 2. So what do you see them going for today? Would they, with the wet weather, would they be a bit cautious and take 2 minutes to begin with, and then if it's okay, go for the full 6 later when the track's drying up a bit more?
I think that could be a brilliant way to handle the race, especially because there's a few unknowns. And also, it's not like Mexico where the temperature is a big issue here. So in terms of battery state and being able to make full advantage of it. But also you've got to think about energy. But if it is a wet race, then you should have more energy to expend at the end of the race. Therefore, having a longer attack mode to try and make those positions or to out-strategize someone could be huge. So I think if it was me at this stage, maybe that's where I'm going rather than the standard 4 and 4. I don't think I'd be taking 6 minutes first. I definitely don't think anyone will do that. I think you'll get maybe some people going splits of 4 and 4, and then maybe some with those 2 and 6 ideas.
Omi, coming to you on this one, it's going to be flat out down towards that first corner. I want to know your opinion on the way this race could go, judging by we've got drivers in that you've seen in the past be very, very quick in conditions like this.
Yeah. And a few of these names, of course, competing in that 2017 Monza race in F2, which was wet and it was absolutely dramatic and it was crazy with cars spinning absolutely everywhere. Of course, they've transformed as a driver. They've gone now into a full-on professional career, and they are definitely a bit more of that finished article now. So it's a lot more different, but the brilliance that some of them showed back in the day, they still will have those. And you have some drivers that just excel brilliantly in those wet conditions. So I'm looking forward to seeing who that exactly will be on this field. And there's so many drivers that could stand out. So I'm looking forward to it. And of course, we've already got, like, as Jack mentioned, a bit of a mixed up grid anyway. So to kind of have another unknown thrown in there, I guess, is very interesting. But, the only fear is, will that take away from what race we possibly could have had? I hope not. And I hope that whatever we get is going to be quite entertaining and will deliver us with fantastic racing from start to finish.
Fingers crossed, it's going to be a very exciting E-Prix. Don't want to miss this one. Just a quick look at some information we've got for you here on the grid. Muller, our 33rd different driver to take pole position in Formula E. Porsche won the 2025 Miami E-Prix with Pascal Wehrlein, and they now have jumped 2 places in the team's championship, up to second with 3 points for the pole bonus. Jack, the constructors still incredibly close in terms of what we're seeing between them all, because it was 44 points at the gap at the front for Citroën that they had, and now up come Porsche taking another one, closing in on 39. It's going to be quite an interesting race in that battle, because after this we go to a double in Jeddah where we've got this pit boost to attend to once more, and everything just starts to get a little bit more difficult.
For me, I don't see Porsche. I don't see Citroën in it at all.
No.
They've just started well. It's too early days to be started looking at the team's championships, and I think you've seen that today with Jean-Eric Verne. Despite being really quick in practice and looking like he would be someone that could fight for the championship, not fight for the championship, but fight for the race win today, to then absolutely get qualifying wrong was just that kind of thing. That doesn't happen at Porsche very often. Even Wehrlein, like, he's mucked up qualifying today, but he's 12th.
So he's still
You're not down in like 18th, 19th, and I don't think Citroën will have that consistency. You might have one driver do well, another driver do well, or they both have a bit of an off race. Whereas Porsche, you kind of expect to be near the front most of the way.
So, just a quick announcement on the JB Motorsport circuit. It's going to go on at 7 o'clock officially. We've partnered up with M Sport Extra to give us more social media presence as well. I know Formula E Zone, you're already linked together with them. But you are going to see in our shows today a new logo down at the bottom alongside Formula E Zone and JB Motorsports. So, congratulations as well to everybody involved in making that possible. So, our social media presence getting a little bit better with some more up up-to-date stuff. Desperately needed, because we can't always be in one place, and I know the team behind there at MEX wanted to help as much as they can after the Formula 1 testing. So it's going to look a bit different when we get down there. Right now, though, let's head down to Nicky on the grid with a couple more famous interviews. The last time I saw this gentleman on the screen, he was playing a character in Waterloo Road. He married his teacher.
Super Bowl, yes.
We're getting excited about it. So we thought we should bring the two sports together.
Oh.
Yeah, and two champions as well. Take a look at this.
Lawrence Scott here, former New England Patriots Super Bowl champ here in Miami. Formula E's in town. Excited to see a former world champion, see his car, check out the garage. It's a little bit different than what I'm used to, but I can't wait.
Hey Lawrence, nice to meet you.
How's it going?
I'm Jake.
Pleasure. Lawrence.
Welcome to Formula E.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see this.
So you're obviously in the pit lane right now, and yeah, we've actually got a brand new livery this weekend, and for the rest of the season, we're now black and yellow, so quite fluorescent. But yeah, so what's your first impressions of Formula E? Your first day?
Can I fit?
In height, I think you got a chance, especially in my seat. It's just it's these things. It's the old shoulders.
You know what they say, you can take some weight loss pills, I can do it. I can make this happen in a day, right?
In a day?
Maybe?
I think it'll be a squeeze. I can take you inside. We'll have a little look at the car. We are missing some body work. Normally the car probably comes out to around about here.
Okay.
Which for us, when we're sat all the way back there, it's quite a long distance. It's quite hard to judge that because you can't see it either. If we get it wrong sometimes, we do hit the cars in front, but even though it's meant to be non-contact.
It happens. It's okay to give somebody a love tap.
Obviously, yeah, a little bit of a love tap in our sport's okay. It doesn't cause too much damage, unlike your sport where it's full contact.
Full contact. It's a love tap still. It's just more
They're not love
physical.
taps.
It's on purpose.
Yeah.
Growing up, it was a big NASCAR. It was a big Formula, funny cars. So
Very different to this.
Very different to this.
Very different. Formula E is a lot more about software. Obviously, it's a fully electric racing series, and it's all about like regeneration. That's how we obviously really make the race cars efficient.
How?
Yeah. How? The best way of doing that is by braking. You know, that's really probably the biggest thing. When we brake, that's how we regenerate into the battery. And then also this thing here, our steering wheel. Lots of different systems inside of that, lots of different buttons. We probably have over 150 say adjustments inside of the steering wheel.
Pretty much you're braking to save the most energy to be the most efficient. So as you're doing it, do you get to speak to your teammate and say, hey, this is how much teammate. Not
so
teammate.
You speak to these guys, which will be stood here. These are like my engineers, and they'll be the ones giving me all the information. We were talking off camera, and you taught me something that some of the players can obviously hear the coaches while they're playing.
Correct.
That's something which I didn't know, and obviously that's a big thing for us, is we're always communicating every lap with our engineer.
So take end of this lap will be 80%. End of this lap is 80%.
We've obviously got the Super Bowl coming up real soon, and you being a former champ, tell us a little bit about that and how the ring is.
Oh, the ring is massive. I would have brought it, but I forgot it because it's too heavy for my hand. It's about this size on my knuckle.
Really?
About that wide. It's very
huge.
It's huge. As you say, when you win the championship, your team gets to enjoy it. Yeah. For me, it's me and my teammates, the coaches, and everything, but it's also the family.
So that's the car. Yeah, obviously, I really hope you obviously enjoy it over the weekend, see us race, and hopefully this number 27 will be on the top step.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to see it, and thank you for taking me around your garage. And from a former champ, I wish you best luck to beat the next champ.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on race day.
Yeah.
Cheers, boy.
Wonderful there, I think, Jack, to have a little bit of a look between two different sports who are incredibly competitive. And I can't wait to see what we're going to get. Super Bowl coming up soon, of course, to fix all that up in about 2 weeks' time. Or is it next weekend? It's next weekend. You be watching, Jack?
Next weekend. I'm a big NFL fan, Chicago Bears. My team got to the quarterfinals, lost, unfortunately. But yeah, so a big NFL fan. Do love it.
Me too. I'm a supporter of the 49ers, and we lost badly. Let's not talk about that score as well. What is it, 49-6? And not great at all. JT is probably watching, covering that match for USN. You can catch that as well on the Ultimate Sports Network next week. Also, tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m., you can join Jake Sanson, myself, and JT on JB Sports and USN as we're covering the final of the Australian Open, which is going to be an absolute classic. Sanson messaged he wanted to cover it. So Jake will be leading the coverage and I'll be his willing accomplice. Right, Omi, taking a look, Ren. Less than 10 minutes to go until the lights go out here in Miami. Pressure starts to build up. Who are you sort of looking for to think having a good start here?
Oh, well, good question. Well, I think it's going to be quite exciting off the line. I think also depending if we do see a bit of rain and all of that stuff at the start, you know, the drivers might have an extra urge to go and push on and to get track position at the start. But if it's more peloton style, then I guess it's going to transform around. But you know, I'm gonna say that I feel like Drogovic is going to be able to possibly get to the inside or find a way to be P1 by the time we complete the opening sector. That's a little prediction thrown in there, but it's Formula E, so anything can happen.
That's a bold prediction from Omi. Jack, Adam wants to know in the chat as well, what's your favourite NFL team?
Mine was Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears.
In terms of prediction, I got no prediction. I don't know how you can predict any of these races. I'm gonna go Rogue.
Go on. We like a
I'm
Rogue.
gonna go Eduardo Mortara.
Ooh, Edo. Okay, Mortara coming
Down in 16th. Maybe this race, it might be just one of these crazy races. He's
Surely.
an experienced lad.
The last time we had a crazy race, it was Dan Ticktum in dry wet weather at Tokyo.
I think you're incorrect. I think we have a crazy race every weekend.
Fair dues.
So, you know, Cassidy won from 13th or wherever he was on the grid, you know. And to be honest with you, I'm looking at the track now, seeing that Karun Chandok, I think if he's actually down there right now, that doesn't look like it's down there right now. I'm having a look at the fans in the grandstands. That looks like this was filmed a long time ago. Because it looked dry down, I was like, oh, it looks dry, but I don't think those are live pictures at all. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see how wet it is when you know everyone's off the grid, the covers are off. You know, we're gonna go fighting and we're gonna go racing basically.
You're right, by the way.
You know what? Formula E is just incredibly strange. It is one of the strangest championships ever. The fact that annoyingly qualifying isn't important, but maybe that's a good thing because then we get these really interesting races. And I think all of us, if we were to vote, we'd rather have a more interesting race than a qualifying session that matters.
We're going, JT, you've got 60 seconds. Explain what you're seeing on the radar. So it does, I'm just having a look at it now. JT,
I don't think I have to explain.
Oh.
I think the radar does the talking. That is live now. The circuit is there.
Okay, so we are right next to a rainstorm. Lovely. Cheers, JT. Let's see what's going to happen. We're all set then for the Miami E-Prix, the third round of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. 39 laps ahead of us. Nico Muller is our 33rd different driver to take pole position here in Formula E. Porsche won last year in Miami at the Speedway with Pascal Wehrlein. How are we going to do as we get set for our third different venue? In the commentary box, it's Joshua Birch, Jack Giamana, and Omi.
We got that hype.
Everyone dreams of the biggest stage.
We hype.
Few ever achieve it. But when you get here, dreams don't matter. Winning does. It starts long before game day. Preparation, discipline, staying calm, silencing the noise. Pressure, good. That means it matters. Embrace it. And then owning it. There for the taking. Welcome to
The ABB FIA Formula E World Championship makes its way to Miami for the third time in its continuity. And once again, it's a brand new venue. This amazing circuit plays host to round 3 of the season. It was originally made for Formula 1, but now Formula E get their chance to have a race around. After this, we go to Jeddah, Madrid, Berlin, Monaco, Sanya, Shanghai, Tokyo and London. It's a small step, but it's a single-header race that started this year. The circuit in total here is a 2.320 kilometre venue here in the United States. And down towards that first corner, it is going to be incredibly difficult. Exactly what are we expected? Well, turn 1 is a very tight downhill right-hander, which can be an overtaking opportunity. It meanders through 2 and 3 before turn 4 is an opportunity for an overtake at attack mode. Run down the straight through the 6 and 7 chicane, and that loops it back up once more. It's a hard, aggressive, fast circuit. Be careful at turn 11 though. Go too wide and go wide off the track, you will have problems to boot. Then the run down through 12 into 13 and hard on the brakes for another overtake opportunity, which has seen 2 accidents already this weekend. It's a fun venue, it's a sweet venue. I wonder what we're going to see when the lights go out in a few moments' time. Well, here's the starting grid then from the back. Row 10 sees Sebastian Buemi given a 3-place grid penalty for contact with Mortara. Lucas de Grassi, a 3-place grid penalty as well in 19th. Dan Ticktum is his 6th-rate streak of dual appearances for this weekend, but not scored in any of them. And let's see what he can do. Verne is P17. He's past champions packing out the back of the grid. Mortara is P16. Embroiled in contact with Buemi was the highest average qualifier this season before today. Then we get Dennis in 15th, his worst qualifying form of the season, compared to Maloney 14th, his best qualifying. Marty's P13 has the most track time of any driver this weekend, with Verline P12, won from 9th on the grid in Homestead last year. Rowland's P11 on the grid, qualifies behind NATO for the 2nd time in 3 races. Gunther starts 10th on the grid. The highest start of the season was last on the grid in Miami last year. Evans P9 has missed the duels by 1 place in 2 of the last 3 races this season. Norman Nato in 8th, finished first across the line on last year's Miami Prix before a penalty. Casti lines up 7th. Won 4 of the last 5 races, but today was his first dual appearance of the season. Ericsson lines up P6 on the grid, best career performance so far. Barnard in P5, still seeking his first career win. De Vries is P4, both drivers start on the 2nd row with the highest start of the season. De Costa is P3, both drivers on the 2nd row, as I said, highest of the season so far. Before Djokovic in 2nd means his highest grid position ever. And Nico Muller on pole position, our 33rd different pole sitter. Well, Omi, we're getting ready for lights out. The track is a bit damp. Down towards the first corner is going to be very, very exciting.
Yep, it's going to be absolutely wild. This is going to be a thrilling contest. Let's see what Miami brings.
We're ready to go. The race will start behind the safety car. So we've just been given the news that we will not have the traditional lights out procedure. The race will start behind the safety car, Jack, and I think that's the correct decision with the rain coming down. But at all places, we could have got going.
I disagree. Is it the right decision?
This is balmy.
Look at it. Why are we going green under? Why are we starting on the safety car? What a joke!
It's green light, and away we go. The safety car leads the way. This is bizarre. This is lap 1 of 39. The race has started behind the safety car. The Miami E-Prix is underway. So, presumably, it's because we don't have chance to do a formation lap. We understand that the rules do still dictate we can have a standing start if directed by race control. But this is lap 1 of 39, and this is how the Miami E-Prix starts. Anticlimactic, Omi, as the Porsche leads them around.
Yeah, that is absolutely disappointing. We all look forward to that standing start to come in, but, you know, I guess we'll wait and see whether there is still any chance that we can get it. But yeah, for now, a safety car start.
Jack, that was a very late call to deploy the safety car for a standing start procedure. We were all nothing came up on our timing monitor saying safety car start.
Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe it is to have this formation lap and then the safety car comes in and then we get started. That's a stand. That's not a start that you'd have. That's just, I'm a bit gobsmacked. But if they wanted to just have a cheeky formation lap,
Yeah, I think you're right. It will
safety
be.
car come in.
Well, hang on, it went green and then the safety car's coming. This is Sebastian Buemi down at turn 4. Now, Buemi's at the back and he's dropped it.
Oh.
Buemi's gone spinning down at turn 4. So the green flag was deployed and then the safety car came back out. So is this just a case only of too much wheel spin? Yeah.
Yeah, round it goes. But continue on. He's having a dreadful time of things, isn't he? And not going well after even the 2 penalties that he got given grid place-wise.
So this is lap 2 of 39. The safety car is out, and that's why. JT, maybe you can give us some more information, because we're being told that there's a lot of rain actually over the circuit right now. So that's why they've deployed the safety car, and the conditions don't look too bad, but it's greasy, this circuit. We might remember, of course, what happened in Formula 1 last year. But yeah, safety car's out, and they're doing 1 minute 14s. JT, if you've got a mic, can you tell us more?
Yeah, so similar to what we're seeing on the radar, and on my radar, that is. And we have also, I love when I start waffling and we have a live radar update as I start waffling, so the stuff is actually live. It's a difficult one, but I think this will hit anything inside that.
If this race is going, if this race is just going to be panning around behind the safety car, I'm annoyed. Jack, what about you? We waited 3 laps already. It's only a short race.
Yeah, well, we'll get added laps hopefully, but I'm a bit shocked here. If the rain's going to get worse, get the racing done now.
Yeah.
Like this isn't, this isn't the. I don't know. I've seen worse. I've seen worse rain in anywhere. Like in Formula E, Paris,
Oh, Paris, it lashed it down.
Monaco.
London.
Monaco.
Well,
London. But I know London was red, but they red flagged it. But of course it's going to be.
Keep it safe.
Safety car will enter the pits. Standing start. The race director does have some sense. Brilliant, brilliant. So the safety car's coming in. We'll have a couple of added laps. They wanted to give them some formation laps, and we are going to have a standing start. Brilliant.
Okay. All right, we'll let him off, but ish, because you've wasted 3 of our laps.
But hang on a minute.
We're only going to get
Race...
1 of them back.
Well, that's great news, standing start then. So at the end of...
What's going on? The safety car's standing start came through. The boards are flashing SS, but they're not bunched up. The safety car's done an extra lap. Well, this is ludicrous. They can't even control their own systems right now. And you can see, actually, Jack, how much water's just on the entry of the pit lane there. It did rain quite heavily there. And offline, it's quite damp.
You can see, yeah, we can see offline. It is quite damp. Okay. Let's just take a chill pill. And, we're going to get going. We've lost a couple of laps. We'll probably get 1, maybe 2 laps out of it back. So 2 formation laps to get 2 laps back.
Well,
I think it's not the end of the world.
5 minutes and 18 seconds, and as soon as it ticks down to 5 minutes 19, we get 2 added laps back, Jack. So we've lost 4, but we get 2 back. That's according to our sheet and the clock that we've got up here.
So yeah, so it's standing start. So we've done 4 laps. So we'll be going into lap 5. We'll get 2 of these laps back. So let's all not get too upset at this precise moment.
So
I think they're a bit conservative, but
yeah,
we'll get going. We will get going. So for those of you wondering on what's happening, so effectively we've had 4 laps of racing on the safety car, but the safety car is pulling in now as Muller does a lovely slide onto the grid as we get ready to start this race.
So they've warmed up their tyres, Omi. They'll now line up on the grid. It was a good idea to get them up to temperature. We saw in qualifying how they were struggling, even in dry conditions, to get temperature.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we saw some of that erratic weaving left and right when it came to just trying to get temperature before their push laps. I mean, right now, they're having to do that over multiple laps, and now they're trying to do some burnouts as they make their way into position on the grid to get the Miami E-Prix underway.
This is confusing a lot of people. They've done a couple more laps. The race has officially started. We're about to have the light sequence. So effectively what they've done is treat it like a red flag procedure. When we'll do a couple of laps formation behind the pace car on a restart, then we'll line up and get the 5 lights, similar to what we saw. I wish we could actually just have a normal race for once here in Miami. It seems that will not be the case. A lot of smoke now handling down towards the start line in turn 1. We are ready though for the green flag and the green lights. 5 laps then done behind the safety car. Will get at least 3 back because it's been inside 8 minutes. 35 laps to go, plus added laps. The Miami E-Prix is about to get underway with a standing start. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Lights out, we're racing in Miami, and what a great start from Taylor Barnard. He immediately jumps ahead of Da Costa, down to turn 1. Djokovic has a look on the inside of Muller. They both go deep, and Djokovic is going to get on the power first. Muller's on the wet line. Muller, though, keeps it ahead. Djokovic was playing safe through turn 2, into 3. Now the hairpin at 4. Muller leads. Djokovic in second. Immediately the peloton style is hitting, and Djokovic is going for attack mode. Now that's smart, because even though this is lap 1 of actual green flag racing, this is lap 5, so the attack modes have been activated. He's taken 2 minutes, so it will be a 2 to 6 minute attack. Omi, great start. They've all made it through cleanly, and I kid you not, sunshine in the turn 6-7 chicane.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Muller got the getaway off the line, and so did Barnard. He absolutely shooted his way up the order. Meanwhile, though, Djokovic was able to get to the inside line of the braking zone, but critically, as Djokovic has taken the lead.
Djokovic leads! He leads, and look how much he's galloping away further back. Look at Cassidy. He's holding up as Evans goes round the outside, down into turn 13. They're all so slow through the hairpin. Djokovic leading, though, officially as we start the racing. What a start, Jack. But again, as you say, it's peloton style as Cassidy and Evans do battle, and Ericsson tries to go around the outside of Barnard.
I wouldn't call it peloton style just yet. You know, they're all still nose to tail, but there is, you know, Djokovic is getting away. Honestly, the attack mode coming in handy for him. Gives him that four-wheel drive, gives him that grip, and just makes him feel a little bit comfortable. Then he can just sort of slip and slide his way through, but now everybody else seems to go into attack mode as well. Muller and the Vries.
And Verline.
So, Muller takes 2 minutes, the Vries goes 4 and 4, and same with Verline. So Verline goes for 4 and 4, the Vries 4 and 4, and Muller 2 to 6, same as Djokovic.
So there we go, Omi. Nice start so far. Djokovic leading this race by quite a margin as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is a big gap.
Yeah, there is a huge gap, isn't there? He was really able to quickly make the overtakes. It was actually very close to contact between himself and Muller as he tried to make that move for second place, and then all of a sudden the camera turns over and he ends up in the lead.
Let's have a look then on board as we get a little bit. That's Ericsson, Evans and Barnard, 3 into 1. Down at turn number 13. Ericsson's on the inside. Trying to go around the outside is Mitch Evans as well to get a few positions back. What a stop for Zane Maloney as well, by the way. He's getting some awesome gumps up there. So is Verline. He's got 4 minutes in the attack mode still to use as they come in towards turn number 1. So, and Muller's, well, Djokovic is out of attack mode now. Muller's got 30 seconds left of it. De Vries has 2 minutes 30, so watch for Nick De Vries to have a gallop at some point in this race as Cassidy holding back. There goes Marty on the inside of Norman Nato. On the inside of turn 4, there's a little bit of contact. You can hear the carbon fibre chucking away there as Joel Eriksson takes 4 minutes of attack mode, Jack.
Yeah, it's very interesting now. So there's a big gap. That's the most interesting thing. So Muller may have to take the lead in a moment going into turn 1. It looks like on my screen, obviously Djokovic out of attack mode. Muller is just finishing his attack mode at the moment. The Vries is catching though, so he's playing himself. But you can see on your TV screens if you're watching the race at the same time with us as commentary, at this precise moment, there is a big gap behind.
Muller around
here
the
comes
outside.
Muller on the outside. Yeah,
Djokovic.
So that was going to happen with attack mode, and he did that with a couple of seconds to spare. So Djokovic second. So you'd expect the Vries to get past both of these two on this lap. You'd expect, but yeah, as we were expecting, the peloton style of race is gone at the moment. It's, do you have the confidence? Are you going to take attack mode at the right time? Is this rain going to get better? Those are the questions.
Yeah, Drugovic went slightly wide, only coming out of the last corner, kicked up some of the water, and that allowed Muller through anyway with the attack mode. But Drugovic making the mistake, and now here comes De Vries through the 6, 7, 8 chicane, right out to the backstretch. Now look at De Vries, he's got so much more gumption with four-wheel drive. He streams through on the inside of Drugovic.
Yeah, not even a contest, and De Vries is also going to try and see whether he can do anything about Muller as well. But it all happened very, very quickly as Muller was able to get himself past Drugovic at that time out of the final corner.
De Vries looking to the inside line, down at turn 13, now assaults to the outside. Muller's going to be so much slower. Look how much slower he is on two-wheel drive exit. We're riding with Nick De Vries, who's got so much more drive. He pulls to the inside across the pit lane, and De Vries takes the lead here in Miami. So now you can see the field's quite spread out. Energy reveal at this stage of the race, a side-by-side further back. That's Pascal Wehrlein getting ahead of Mitch Evans. They've all used around about 20% jack, which is what we were expecting. As that's further back, that's going to be Maloney, Marti and Mortara in a battle. Mortara trying to go around the outside of Marti. And it worked actually, because Vern's got through as well. Go on.
No, as I said, it's just really interesting. So Drugovic has actually used quite a lot of energy. He's on 80% to the 81s of people around him, and some on 82, but some of those people have yet to take attack mode. So I'm looking at Mitch Evans there, sitting in 7th, 84%, the most of anyone, really down to about Marty in 13th. So that is the interesting play. Are they going to be able to use that, maybe go even faster with attack mode? But again, it's a quick race, already on lap 9.
Yep, and Ericsson has just been given a black and white flag for corner cutting at the turn 7 chicane, Omi, and now Cassidy's holding up everybody else further back. Jean-Eric Verne has got 6 minutes worth of attack mode, so he's going for a 6 and a 2, and he's blasting through on everybody else on the inside line. And look at the outside, Mortara's got completely out of shape, trying to go around the outside of Degrassi. Verne's cutting back through, Degrassi blocks him, and Verne just says thank you very much. And Omi, watch out for Jean-Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. With his attack mode, it kind of worked out perfectly as they both set themselves wide and to the outside line. So that worked out quite nicely as we make our way then in towards turn number 1.
Marty goes very deep into turn number 1. Outcooked himself a little bit. That might let a little look through from Degrassi. He was right there. There's Zane Maloney on the back of Edo Mortara. Cassidy and Jean-Eric, so the two Citrons are still challenging. And look at Mortara trying to have the exit speed coming out of 4, not working through the kink at 5. Through turn 6 and 7, we know we can go 3 wide through here. We've seen that happen already today. A little bit more raindrops in the air. We'll check in with JT in a few moments' time on weather updates as Dennis gets ahead of Sebastian Boremi as well. Only driver on the attack mode in this race is Jean-Eric Verne. He's got 2 minutes 50 left, Omi.
He does indeed.
Marty!
So he's got plenty of overtaking to do.
Marty on the inside line, he's trying to have a go on the inside, so he's still not going to give this up as well. He's alongside with Zane Maloney. Around the outside. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there. You can hear the carbon fibre starting to scream a little bit. And what's happened to Marty? I've got a Marty stopped on my timing monitor. Yeah, Marty's dropping. He's dropped behind Degrassi, and I think Marty's out of the race.
He is at the back of the grid. He's currently still running, though. He is running right behind. I think no,
that's Tictum.
That's Tictum. That's Tictum. So Marty is just a mistake. It's just a mistake.
I hope so. We'll have a look and see if his transponder got damaged.
It's just his transponder. Because I was just trying to see if that was someone, but it's not yet.
Muller's to be taking the lead. De Vries has backed off. Djokovic takes second as well. So Muller leads. Marty has gone back to 13, so it was a transponder issue. You're completely right there, Jack. And now we're on board with the Joel Eriksson. They're lifting so much more energy as well as they're on the inside line. That's Muller keeping the lead and Djokovic on the outside. Here goes De Vries. Could Joel Eriksson even win this race? This is what I don't like.
I was telling you now, I think Joel Eriksson and Wehrlein have massively impressed me. They've taken their attack mode early, but they have caught the leading pack. They have done an incredible job of bringing themselves back into contention in this race. And Eriksson, but Wehrlein slightly has more usable energy than Eriksson as well in front. But again, I'm looking at Mitch Evans on 77%. Can he use it? I think this rain, it might get better. The track conditions might get better. I think Verne has made a mistake. I think taking 6 minutes to get himself into contention now will hurt him massively towards the end of this race.
Yeah, because the field's too spread out, Omi, isn't it? Well, there's still a chance of a safety car if somebody makes a mistake or, God forbid, the rain gets heavier.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is still something to consider as well. But yeah, they're all making their way to Dragovic, sliding on the exit as well as he tried to get his foot down directly behind Muller at the moment in time. But he is very much following at a close rate.
Dragovic trying to go around the outside, down to the hairpin. This is going to be a bit feisty if he can get the power on. Muller goes straight ahead. Marty's just, well, that's Dragovic just behind him. The camera's got it wrong. Can Dragovic have a look on the inside line? And we're watching an Andretti. We're not watching a Cooper Cairo on the inside. And Dragovic takes the lead with a superb move towards the pit wall. De Vries just holding back. I wish the camera would stop with the helicopter angle because it's misidentifying the Cupras and the Andrettis together. It's lap 13 of 39. Plenty of action still to come. Right, JT, if you've got a microphone enabled. Oh, big snap there. Big snap coming back from Nick De Vries, and that's going to allow Ericsson to close back up. It's going to allow a little look maybe from Pascal Wehrlein, but a huge snap coming out of turn 4. Right, JT, what's the latest on the weather conditions?
Well, it's more incoming at the moment, just to the west of the circuit, but it's at the moment the radar is not showing anything. But then if you go the next couple of frames, there's tons of rain. So rain clouds around, and at the moment the Miami International Autodrome just on the corner of the next rain cell, which could drop.
Cheers, JT.
So it's important not to compress the field, so if he wants to give up the lead, just go in front again. He shouldn't lose that much pace.
Yeah.
They want to compress the field, so that's about saving energy because there's a huge gap. 43 seconds to Gunther.
They're playing. Just what I was about to come in on. They're playing a different game. So we're in like the simulation races. Let's go back to pre-season testing, right? And we were watching people at the back. They're praying for a safety car. Roland had 80% energy, right? When we were looking there at 71, 72, Roland's on like 80%, right? At that time. So they're just trundling at the back, and they've decided we're not going to go for forward, which I think is crazy at a track like this, because the chance of a safety car is low, right? But they're either praying for the rain to massively increase and a safety car because of the rain, or there is a crash, and they're hoping that then they can scythe through the field, basically. That's their play, because I'm looking at the grid right now. Like, the leaders are currently into turn 5, and Dan Ticktum and Maximilian Gunn from the back straight, and the Nissans are on the front straight on the start-finish line. The gap, the only thing they could be doing is playing for a safety car.
Djokovic went very deep into that first corner. Muller's trying to hook him back up as well, as you see with there's the rain light. Omi, you can see how much water's actually just offline. So it is incredibly slippery out there. And trying to put electric power down is equivalent of, well, it's going to be stepping on ice almost. You're going to slip if you put too much pressure on it.
Yep, indeed. That looks like what is taking place at the moment on the circuit. Wehrlein able to get by as well, and Ericsson lost time by as well as they continue to make their way through then. Tickton finding himself dropping down a bit of time as well, so he's of course now 10 seconds away, it seems like, from NATO.
Into between Maloney.
For me, Antonio Felix da Costa is the one to watch right now. He is in attack mode. Could this be the attack mode at the right time? Everyone else is not in it. If he can get through the field here, this is for position. No one else is in attack mode. So if he can get up to first or second with this attack mode, that's his position, because most of the people in front have taken an attack mode. So da Costa could bring himself right into play here.
Actually involving Ericsson, De Vries noted. I also saw one with Mortara a few seconds ago. That's also been brought up on the screen. There's Mitch Evans. He's in P7. Da Costa has taken 4 minutes on that attack mode to come through. So we'll keep an eye on his Djokovic radio.
Take it now. Nico will follow you, and then we'll swap positions into laps to pull away from the others.
So Nico will follow you. And then
I
swapping.
hate this.
They're working together
I
almost.
hate this. This should be banned.
Yeah, they work together of the same powertrain.
This should not be. You cannot, just because you have the same powertrain, there is no way that you should be working. You are two separate entities.
Yeah, both use the Porsche 99X electric and powertrain.
I don't like that. That's like, I know it happens with potentially Toro Rosso and Red Bull, but like, it shouldn't be as clear cut as that.
No, I'm with you on that. That's almost race fixing, Omi, isn't it, as well, that they're working together. and they're separate rivals, because now, does that mean that Muller's going to win this race and Dragovic isn't going to hold back? When do you draw the line when it's two different teams?
Yeah, and Dragovic wants to go for it. He wants to try and make his own chance as well. So that is very unfair to him. It's not the same team. They're both different teams. So even if they do possibly share the same engines, it's completely outrageous, and it's not what we want to see.
Well, Nicky's saying main issue is Mitch behind Acosta. Well, that's swapped now.
I was going to say, Da Costa is up to 3rd place. Like, as I told you, this was for position. He's got 1 minute and 38 seconds left of attack mode. If he can get to the lead, which I think he very much will, he will be net lead of this race.
Oh, this is a joke. Look how much he's gaining up on Dragovic, down through 9 and 10 already. He's on the back of him, coming through 11. This is what it is. With 4-wheel drive and 350 kilowatts of power, he's passed him like he's a granny with a shopping trolley. Brilliant on the inside. And can he now catch Nico Muller? Yes, he can, because Muller's made a mistake. Down into turn 13. Da Costa almost runs into the back of him. So did Dragovic. But now Da Costa swings round the outside and he hits the side. Oh my goodness. Da Costa chops across Nico Muller and gives him a 41 down towards turn 1. It's all out dogfighting. Da Costa proving he's learned nothing from his incidents in Mexico. He's still using his car as a weapon. Well, Omi, that is beyond ridiculous.
Absolutely throwing the right elbow there and a half at that moment. Unbelievable stuff. But yes, he's been able to take the lead with 30 seconds now remaining on that attack mode. So he's going to try and break clear and gain as much of an advantage and a gap that he can.
Doesn't look like anyone's taking it this time by, so nobody is out of attack mode just yet. Jack, what do you make of that? I saw you had your head in your hands there. Like, what on earth was Da Costa thinking?
I don't think Da Costa needed to be so aggressive. He was going to get that move done. It was a very important move for him to do. We're going to have a look at the replay now, so I'll talk you through it. So he's around the outside. He's going, yeah, that's the right noise, I think. Because why on earth did he need to feel the need to drive so aggressively to the right?
Let's have a look. No, he knew what he's doing. Black and white flag. Black and white flag to Costa, driving standards. Yeah.
But then if they deem, well, maybe you take it. You take a yellow card basically.
Yeah.
To get the race lead if you're not going to take another yellow card. So maybe he's just taken the yellow card to make sure he's got the lead of the race. I think that's probably the best way to put it.
Smart move here from Mitch Evans. He takes attack mode. He'll take 2 minutes to use Omi, so he'll close up on the back of this little battle and should easily get ahead of Da Costa.
That should easily be the case as well, so we will see whether that does turn into fruition then on lap number 20. We're going to go on to off this race, and it's definitely gone by quite quickly so far.
Really has. It's been a super duper starming one, as we see. There we go. Ian James watching on. What do you think, Jack?
I'm just trying to reset now, so I'm trying to look at where Mitch Evans is. Mitch Evans is now in attack mode and is now going to start siphoning through. I don't know what he's taking because he doesn't have a lot of time to food. He must have taken 2 minutes.
He has taken 2 minutes,
because he wasn't faster. Evans has taken 2 minutes here, so he's kind of getting himself. But now he's thinking, this track's maybe slightly getting a bit better. These got in front of him have taken 4 minutes of attack mode. That means he'll have 2 extra minutes. Get a couple of places here.
Oh,
again, net for position.
Bye,
as
Pascal.
he passed Verline.
So that means I'm up to 5th.
Getting a couple of positions. This could, Jack, you're at bottom of the team's championship right now. The way that they're tactically managing this could easily lead them to a 1-2 finish.
Look at this on Pascal Verline. He's dealt with him. Easy. Can he get ahead of De Vries? On the exit. Push the throttle down. Yep, easy. Omi, it's like... It's so stupid how more powerful four-wheel drive is.
Yeah, absolutely. A completely different formula going past that point.
Yeah.
down straight, basically. And he's about to get, well, another one in terms of Dragovic. Easy on the power. Well, Dragovic completely moves over to the left and, opens a clear route.
Gunther's under investigation for track... Did he just go around the outside of Muller there into turn 1? Who was that on the inside line? I swear that I saw a car flying by. Gunther's under investigation for track limits, by the way. And Maloney and Cassidy have been noted for contact. So
I think that was Gunther lapped at that moment.
Right, okay, so that explains why. Because I was trying to see why there was all craziness going on. poor Dan Ticktum. Is that rain? Is that heavy rain at turn 6 and 7? Look how much heavier it is, looking like it's hitting the circuit there. Very cloudy spots coming through the back there. I'll throw... Yeah,
there is a massive cloud over the circuit right now with low to intermediate rain.
Right, so that explains what we're seeing. It's fine in the other half of the circuit. It's a 2-mile track. But, yep, there goes Da Costa trying to defend. He's trying to bring up some of the spray to block Muller down in towards the braking zone. You got Da Costa in first. Evans now to third place. He's out of attack mode. Jaguar, as Jack said, bottom of the standings in the teams. And now, at the moment, they're first and in third place with 18 laps to go this race. And there's a lot of rain down at turn 1. A lot of rain, as Dan Ticktum nearly finds out. Can Da Costa get his W? Yes, he can. So does Muller. But there's a lot of rain down in that first corner. You can see how darker the track has now got. Let's hear from Da Costa.
Da Costa.
Okay, Antonio, we've got one warning for track limit, turn 11.
Yeah, not the first time.
Dan Ticktum's taken 2 minutes though, Jack, but the rain's just sort of flying around the circuit and dropping in random parts. The drivers have got no idea where they need to push and where they need to be careful.
Yeah, I'm a bit bemused of why Ticktum's taken attack mode. I don't understand it for their strategy unless it's that they just have to do it now because we've gotten so far into the race. It just shows now that, I don't know, we haven't heard many radio messages about who's doing this at the right time, when's the weather coming in, and so forth, and is the track going to get any better?
I thought Muller was going to have a go there in towards the braking zone.
Yeah, just staying behind. But if Jaguar found the best bit of the weather to promote them in the first half, because if it does rain harder, the attack mode is going to be significantly worse.
Verline and De Vries.
In terms of...
I wish I could just show you back there. Yeah, De Vries stays ahead. Verline's trying to go on the outside, and Joel Erikson's there too. Nothing. Back to you, Jack.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think strategy-wise. It might be better because they've got four-wheel drive, but at the same time, so that would be interesting to see. But we saw in Shanghai last year that it didn't really do much. So I'm expecting the same here, that they struggled with even with the four-wheel drive to make progress. So that's the only sort of evidence I've got to say that I think Jaguar may have played a blind here if the rain intensity has begun to increase.
It's very heavy again now through the 6, 7, 8, and Dan Ticktum's coming to the pits. Is it 3 retirements in a row for Dan? That will be so heartbreaking. He's been so fast on Fridays. Let's hear from Da Costa.
Will he cost him a chance of a good grip position?
Yeah, happy with where I am. 9% Yankee 9.
Da Costa's happy where he is. Well, of course he is. He's leading the race at the moment. Very heavy on the brakes. That's trying to push Muller back into Mitch Evans' part of the way. Dan Ticktum is in the pit lane. It could be to be out of the race. We'll wait to see. He's going to get a lap on everybody else. That could be a smart way just to get out of the way of the leaders, hopefully as well. But Gunther's overtaken him, and he was still battling over full position. Down into turn 1, 2, and 3. Look at Dragovic. He's still in contention to win this one. But could Da Costa claim his first victory for Jaguar? All sorts of things playing up as they come into turn 4, and it's another. Is that another puncture coming in for Ticktum? Surely not, because they've had 2 tyres at the back. But oh, Jack, this is getting ridiculous for Cooper this season.
Yeah, that's not great. He'll want to park it, but I don't understand why they've unless he's opted for it. Why have they been like? Why has him and Gunther decided to go for this really negative strategy? Same with Cassidy. Like, Cassidy's nowhere. He's joined. Unless they know something we don't.
No. If it's going to rain again, maybe.
Yeah, but the rain again doesn't help them.
Ooh, there goes Muller.
They're praying for a safety car.
Muller dives through on the inside line at the last corner, and that looked tactical because you don't want Da Costa leading the way all the time, as well as you know, Omi, because he's going to fight right back against Muller, isn't he? Da Costa goes on the outside. Is it attempt 2 at a boxing match? No, into the first corner. Muller leads, Omi.
Yeah, no switch between them back yet, but now Muller has hit the front of the field and leads the way in this race. But Da Costa's going to be there, and you know Da Costa can do many things sitting in that second position. But yeah, Muller just wanted to, I guess, take that lead away from him, because I guess you can have plenty of options in terms of what you want to do in the lead. Here's Ticktum.
So obviously that's done anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't want to do that.
Well, let's do it.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Whatever. Waste of time.
Oh. You're right. He didn't want to go back out, Jack. And your heart breaks as Evans and Da Costa are battling with each other. That's going to bring Dragovic into it. Evans looks to the inside line. Is Felipe going to have a little look? De Vries battling now against Pascal Wehrlein. Alex is just behind. Evans dives up the inside of Da Costa. They swap places. Very nicely done to stop Dragovic having a go. And Da Costa, will he let Mitch through around the outside? He should do. It's a part of the team orders. Late on the brakes into turn 1. Evans should have it around the outside. Yes, he does, but he goes in too deep. Da Costa's going to wipe him out if he's not careful. Why are these two racing each other? That's allowing Muller to have the advantage at the front. It's same old, isn't it, with Evans and Da Costa? Evans is whatever teammate he has, he likes to battle him. And Da Costa, well, he's a maniac. And look at Dragovic on the inside, nearly tagging the front left with a rear right.
I think that was a good move from Jaguar. Even though if it was orchestrated or not orchestrated, we have to remember the attack modes here. Muller has 6 minutes left, Evans has 6 minutes left, Da Costa only 4, Dragovic 6. I think De Vries has only got 4 as well. Yeah, De Vries got 4 left. So and Wehrlein, I think Wehrlein took 4, so he's got 4. So now Evans and Muller are level pegging effectively, right? So they've both got 6 minutes of attack mode.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna they're there fighting with each
Dragovic
other rather
pits.
than someone. No way.
Oh, I don't know if this is going to be correct or not. Oh, he's at the back! Dragovic into the back! He's run into the back of Da Costa! Under braking down of the hairpin! Da Costa runs in! Oh! Dragovic out! I do not believe it! Outbrakes himself! I just got the signal! Omni shambles at the turn 13! Out of brakes into the back of Da Costa!
The second round that you've had to say those words, absolutely ludicrous, and that is such a shame for the driver of Felipe Dragovic, having such a great race up until that point, and then into the back he smashes there, and now it's a trip into the pit lane as Da Costa continues on.
The perfect weekend goes from perfect to abysmal. He'll start now again with no points, and now Evans is right on the back of Muller. Jaguar need to do this. They need to have a bit more pace. And can he get the slipstream? There's no attack battery here. It's all full down to two-wheel drive. Muller defends the inside. Evans is nearly clipping the back of him. There's debris offline. They both run in deep. Evans gets the undercut. He puts the throttle down. And Evans leads in Miami. Perfect, Omi. Textbook.
Yep, he read that situation well. Broke early, knew what was happening, and then came switching back with the power applied and into the lead of this race.
Takes him to the pits, Jack, so that looks like it's going to be a third DNF in a row for him. You can't write this season as Muller attacks again.
He nearly got what he wanted for, in a safety car. Could have easily maybe ended in a safety car if the car needed recovering. Luckily, the Costa was able to continue. And he got himself back into the pits.
Well, this race is certainly living up to it. We've got 12 more laps to go, plus at least 2 added lap times because of the safety car start before the standing start. Shame for Dan Tickton. Here it is again, Omi. Talk us through it. Djokovic completely out of brakes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to go into the braking zone and then, oh my word, he's going to try and get it slowed down. But we're going to get it on board as well. But yeah, he's just a smash into the back. Here's Da Costa.
Cast. Leave me to it. It's the first.
Well, and Da Costa's been given a black and white flag for track limits now. Apparently that was the last warning. Oh, well.
That's a bit harsh. I think they could maybe contest that one.
Yeah.
Well, common sense applied to that.
I think for Da Costa,
we're getting a flurry of attack modes, by the way, now.
Yeah,
and I'm
right,
interested. My bet for winning was Mortara, although he's 14 seconds off the lead. But he's got 4 minutes. If he's just gone in for a 4 minute, he had a lot of space. Is this now the chance? By the way, Pepe Marti still got 2 attack modes left. Behind him is in 8th. So again, another race. Barnard has used all of his attack modes. He's in his final attack mode. God, he's so quick, this kid, but there's just something from in races where it's just not going his way. And again, to have no attack modes left, to be on his final one now, using it now.
Yeah,
but don't understand.
Wehrlein trying to go on the outside of De Vries. De Vries has gone defensive. Ericsson find a little bit through. Pascal Wehrlein made the most of their attack mode, overtaking 10 drivers whilst only using 10% of available energy. That's not too bad. Yeah, Omi, we know very well about Barnard and his racing skill from Formula 3. He likes mixed conditions, but it's what I was telling you in the pre-show. Never run a Formula E car in these conditions. Oh, sorry, Dragovic, a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision.
There we go. There we go. But yeah, was to be expected. But yeah, in terms of Barnard, I mean, he won a Formula 3 race all the way from the back at Spa as well in a feature race in mixed conditions. So you're absolutely right in terms of that comment.
Round we go. We're on board with Boemi. That was Barnard going in a little bit too deep, but getting a lovely exit coming out of the backstretch. Degrassi's past Dennis. As we take a look, there's Joel Eriksson. What a great race he is having out here this afternoon as well. As Dan Ticktum officially retires from the race, and he got a black and white flag as well for crossing the pit entry line. As round the outside, again, more battles on the inside. That was De Vries battling with Verline. We're on board now with Felipe Dragovic. We cut to the exit. De Vries has opened the door to Verline. He closes it again down towards turn number 1 on the inside line. Eriksson's just playing himself round the outside. He just doesn't want to get involved in case there's a contact, but Verline can't find the way through. Battles over the last podium spot as Boemi and Marty now doing battle. Boemi's going to commit on the inside line. That's where it's most dangerous. Barnard blocks the rear, trying to come into the attack into turn 1. He's got four-wheel drive, remember. Degrassi's in there too with 50 seconds left. Boemi's completely out of shape. Barnard's going to have to lunge with eventually into turn 4. He takes a wide line in. Boemi's trying to attack Marty, who cuts back through. Meantime, the two Lolas are going at it further back as well. Jack, this is going all over the place right now.
Yeah, those drivers that you've just mentioned are all in attack mode. So, Maloney hilariously has the most of all of them, and has another. Barnard's going to finish this race last. I have a feeling, because everybody behind him. He's still got Cassidy, who's still got to take 8 minutes. But these drivers, you think like, oh, they're in the race. They're not in the race at all.
Oh, and there's De Vries on the inside. He's blocked Verline, but Verline's got a good exit. Coming out of turn number 14. He's going to try the outside line down to turn 1. He'll undercut to the inside. De Vries cuts across it. They're both now on the damp line, trying to go on the brakes. De Vries is going to miss the apex by country miles. So is Verline. Eriksson takes it naturally, but can't get enough speed alongside them, Omi. It's really close battling. Eriksson has got to pass Verline now.
Yeah, he's kind of been waiting and sitting in behind, hoping that there's a bit of chaos between the two of them. It was very nearly that at turn 1, but not quite at that moment. So he's still in behind and still has to try and make this overtake. But the three of them very close together.
So Eriksson's got 4 minutes left, so is Verline, so is De Vries. So this is a race in themselves. Evans and Muller have got 6 minutes apiece with them. So you've got to decide what's going to happen sooner or later. Look at the closing speed! Contact! Verline touches the back of De Vries coming out of turn 11. Just a momentary nudge between them, but that gives Eriksson the momentum. He's backed out of it. He's trying to save energy. But Verline there he touched the back of De Vries and just nerfed him off the ground a little bit there, Jack. Oh, and Edo Mortara in all this, fastest up of the race.
Yeah, he's catching Edo Mortara, but he's couple of seconds behind. He's got the gap down to 9 seconds, still got 4 minutes of attack mode to use, but everybody else has attack mode to use, so that's kind of negative.
Okay, still 0.5% more energy than Muller, doing a great job, keep it up.
Mitch Evans, of course, he likes these races. Where did he start this one from? 9th on the grid.
Verline is the first to blink. Verline is the first to blink, so he's the first one to go into attack mode. How much can he make, and then how much can the others make when it's their turn? So this is crucial for Verline's race. He has to make full use of this. With going first, if he doesn't get it right, he'll go backwards.
JT, I'd love to get you the latest on the weather report, because we went through the chicane and I saw a bit of sunshine, and I'm now seeing sunshine. Have we got away from that rain cloud with 6+ added laps to go?
Well, you've got away with the large part of the weather. It's now just drizzle.
Oh,
no
Verline!
Big rain clouds.
Thanks, JT. Verline's gone around the outside and has taken De Vries. That was kind of expected, but now De Vries and Eriksson have got to take their final 4 minutes. Oh, and Verline's gone too deep towards the first corner. As there is a bit of brightness, as JT was talking about. Roland's at the fastest up of the race, Omi. But yeah, Eriksson's got to now do it, so is De Vries. Oh, and Muller's catching Evans. And Muller's taken his final 6 minutes. So Muller's now going to start challenging Omi.
Yeah, this is when the race is now beginning to get interested as well. Of course, we're expecting a couple of added laps into this. This is going to be quite the finish to this Formula E race.
De Vries, black and white flag for moving under braking. Verline, fastest lap, 104.879. So this race will be around about 45 minutes. We've already done 41 with 5 to go plus the added laps. Look at the debris offline coming into the braking zone. So Evans has got 1.7 seconds, Jack. He can afford to wait another lap, I'd say.
Yeah, well, he's also got 6 minutes of attack mode himself. So at the moment, everything is hunky-dory, basically. He can fend off, he can do an extra lap, try and fend off Muller, have 6 minutes and win this race. He's doing it brilliantly.
So Muller struggling there with traction.
Okay, so Muller's struggling with traction, and that's in four-wheel drive, so we'll keep an eye on that. We're watching it now, actually, and Evans is going to take the attack mode now, and Muller's not going to be able to capitalise on it. Mitch Evans takes his final attack and keeps the lead of the Miami E-Prix. Well, Omi, that was unexpected, and now it's all Evans's. You've just got to get on with it.
Yeah, just got to get on with it, but able to rejoin just ahead. Only by a couple of tenths, but a couple of tenths was enough to keep him this track position and importantly keep himself in the mix there.
As JT was on about, that rain cloud sort of coming back in towards the centre there, so there's a few bits that I witnessed that might be a little bit problematic. Look at Muller all over the back. Effectively now Jack as well, they're level in both attacks, so although, what is it, another minute more? Let's hear from Evans.
You haven't had an impact.
Okay, so it's just hit targets. We are still 0.5% more energy than Muller.
Yep, so Muller's really got to save a bit more, Jack, and, well, we're running out of time, but we will get at least 2 added laps.
Yep, indeed we will. It's Evans' race to lose now. He's just got to manage it. He's just got to manage it from the front. There's been some absolute shockers. Nato gets lapped. Nissan have had a shocker today. Citroen have had a shocker today. Like, there's a lot to digest from this race and trying to find out what had happened, because there's been a lot of abysmal strategy calls in this race.
Sadly, that is the case. It has not been one that we would look back on fondly. A race extended by 2 laps, we've just been confirmed. So it will be a 41 lap E-Prix. So we get 2 back, 2 formation laps behind the safety car. That'll do us. So it's 5 laps to go as we ride. There we go again. So 5 laps, that's another 5 minutes. There will still be 3 minutes 45. Yeah, Omi, Evans doesn't have enough attack mode to get to the end of the race. Muller definitely doesn't. So very much it's going to be a free-for-all if Mitch makes a mistake.
Yeah, but everything is in the favour right now of Evans. He's just got to try and get this job done, bring it home. Pretty much, because right now, of course, it's even. It's a level playing field between them. But then, of course, Evans will get that extra bit of advantage for about a minute more. So right now, it's all going in his favour, but he's just got to keep it clean and keep bringing this one home at the moment.
Lap 37 of 41 as Maloney takes a 4-minute attack mode. Everybody nearly in their usable attacks. As Felipe Drugovich comes into the pit lane, presumably to retire from the E-Prix. That is a very sad situation that has had to have been done as things stand. But Evans now leads by just over a second to Nico Muller and Pascal Wehrlein. Porsche are going to be such good in this race championship. So's Jag.
Still 0.5% more energy than Muller. Gap 1 second.
Yeah, Jack, Evans got this one in the bag.
Yeah, it's well managed, and that's how you do it. I was looking at the Jaguars and they were kind of holding their own, doing what they needed to do earlier in the race, and then they took the attack mode at the right time while everyone else was squabbling, and they were allowed to catch up a little bit. They used it to perfection. If Da Costa didn't get shunted by Drugovich, he'd be up there as well. So a really, really well-managed race. Porsche have done quite well to recover Wehrlein's race as well, must be said.
Muller's going to be out of attack mode in 50 seconds' time. And so, unfortunately, will Evans, well, I think, Omi, the race now just calming down. Drugovich come back out of the pit lane, so he's not going to retire, as we thought he might. But what a bizarre Miami E-Prix. 3rd round of the season, 3rd different winner lining up.
Yeah, absolutely. As meanwhile, Burmy looking to try and just stay ahead of Dennis at the moment. That was getting close into the braking zone of the final corner, so that could be a bit of a battle that begins to develop. But Burmy, of course, will have those extra minutes of attack mode, and he could possibly go on and try and also take 8th away from Pepe Martin, so that could be an interesting battle for the lower end of the top 10.
Actually, Jack, as well, third different driver, third different team going to win in the opening 3 races.
Yeah.
This is good.
But that's Formula E for you.
Yeah. Still on pushing.
At least,
Go on.
At least this race has been less crazy. Like, it has been. I think it's been a really good race. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. But it's nice to not have a race where they're all over each other, and there was some strategy and some strategy involved. But I'm looking here: Vern, Cassidy, NATO. A lap down pretty much. Vern 45 seconds. Barnard 33 seconds off the pace. Reigning world champion Oliver Rowland 33 seconds off the lead. You don't see this in Formula E. These teams have got it so wrong.
Da Costa getting ahead of Mortara. Mortara trying to pull around the outside in towards the first corner. Bohemi's on the inside of Marty as well, down towards turn number 1. That's a remove with attack mode though from Bohemi. He'll do it with ease. Mortara's all over the back of Da Costa though. Still coming through turns 2 and 3. Da Costa defending very, very aggressively. We know that. And Mortara does not want to give up. They're on the curb and they bang into each other. Mortara gives him another welly and a second bang. Through goes Mortara on the inside line of turn 6, but these two always want to make contact with each other, and again, Da Costa is probably going to get a black and white flag as JTs are putting into light drizzle now, but we should be good to the end of the race.
Yeah, and that is absolutely fantastic. Being able to bring it home, and Evans will be a deserving winner as he heads on to the final lap of the race.
2% of energy, that's the same as Muller, so they've completely done perfect. Look at again, De Vries defending against Mortara. They're both going to run out of attack mode soon. Dennis trying to get ahead as well of Marty, who's done an impressive 9th for the Cooper Kiro team. Dan Tickton, the only retirement. He's been out 3 races running now as well, as here comes Dennis down towards turn 1. De Vries again having to go a little bit further back. We're seeing with Mortara, maybe they've dropped a bit of places. Marty and Dennis still battling. There, however, is Mitch Evans. He qualified in P9. He was 6th in Group A of the duels. It put him 9th on the grid, but it was just out of range of possibility. Crazy wet weather helps out again. Jaguar have been no points on the board after a terrible start to the season. Who else but Mitch Evans to brave the storm, to come out on top? It's out of the last corner, and the Miami E-Prix here at Hard Rock Stadium is the Hard Rock himself to win. Mitch Evans wins the last final brilliant battle we've seen in a while here in Formula E. What a crazy, crazy day. 3rd different winner. Oh, contact, last corner. I think that was Maloney and Degrassi. Yeah, where's that? That's Maloney. Degrassi's off. The 2 Lolas have come together.
Finishers.
Beauty. That's like boys and girls. That is pretty well done, mate. What a turnaround.
Degrassi's crossed the line, but Degrassi's gone down to 13th. Karoon.
Let's go down then and catch up with Mitch Evans, Karoon.
Mitch Evans up here in the commentary box. It was brilliant to watch. Fantastic result for you. Your first points of the season, and what a way to get it.
Yeah, thanks, mate. We needed this, and I must say I wasn't expecting it. So the rain came at the best time. The guys gave me an absolute weapon. High concentration race, and I'll make mistakes, but yeah, first one of the season, first points of the season. So yeah, happy days.
How stressful was it in these conditions? Because as you say, no chance to make any mistakes there. Was it a stressful race?
It wasn't too bad. I was just trying to, yeah, keep the pressure on the guys when I was trying to come up against them, and just trying to make mistakes myself, and then obviously executing the attacks. So, but we had a mega pace, so just had to, you know, hit my apexes and not make any mistakes, and that's what we did. So, but the team gave me a great card to do that.
Congratulations and enjoy the podium.
I will.
Mitch Evans wins again. But what happened to Degrassi at that last corner? That's something I want to take a look at as well. But Omi, what an amazing race. It was quite fun. Oh, and Marty's had lap time deleted. Oh, 2 seconds, says Evans.
He is victorious.
Oh, well, okay. They take it away from us. Omi, what did you make of that one?
Well, that was a good race. A good race. Another typical Formula E race. I think very good and a deserving winner at the end, which is always very great to see. A bit of drama in there, a bit of Formula E drama in there, as we usually expect from this series. But overall, a good contest, and we can be satisfied as we now prepare for Jeddah.
Jack, what did you make of that one?
Oh, really great race. Mitch Evans thoroughly deserved the right strategy at the right time. Fair play. Well done for Jaguar. Needed to get those points, sorted, and they have. So, yeah, absolutely brilliant for them.
Let's head down then and join the world feed as we get ready for the podium ceremony and the interviews. Let's join Tom Brooks. It's his 15th career win for Mitch Evans. It's a new Formula E record
for the Kiwi as he chats there to Nico Müller, who again adds to his podium tally in Formula E. That first win still eluding him for the time being, but I'm sure it's a case of when and not if we get more performances like that from the Swiss driver. And again, for Pascal Wehrlein, I think he'll be pretty pleased with how that one worked out. Some more points on the board, crucial for the championship challenge. I know it's an early part of the season, we're only on round 3. However, it's a long season and every point matters for that team and for those drivers. I think the crowd, well, they braved the conditions and I think they enjoyed that one. It treated to a brilliant race and textbook display of driving at the sharp end of the field.
Enough Motar's been told.
Well, what a fantastic race we've had here in Miami. The first one at the International.
I'll stop that because it's back to Tom now.
Well, what a fantastic race we've had here in Miami. The first one at the International Autodrome. And I quite enjoyed that. A really good sort of strategic battles going on up and down the field.
Yeah, I think that's the best wet race that I've certainly witnessed in Formula E so far. It wasn't crazy spray, so I really enjoyed it.
Here in Miami. Mitch, that was a beautiful drive. It was a masterful drive, but it was also strategic. How were you able to work your way through the field to get to the front and keep it there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously towards the end it came down to the attacks, but I just had really good raw pace and they got me towards the front without doing any attacks. I knew quite early on that I had a good car underneath me. I had really good traction, and yeah, I just want to thank the team for giving me the car. It was, yeah, in these conditions, you never know what you're going to get. So I knew, yeah, from probably before my first attack, they had a good shot at the win. We just had to execute the attack modes. Nico was super quick as well, so it was obviously a race between us two, and was able to get past him and get the job done. So yeah, the dry conditions for me this morning were really tough. So yeah, thank God for the rain.
You now have 15 wins in Formula E. You've passed Sebastian Buemi. You've set a new record. What does that stat mean to you?
I mean, it's special. I want to keep going, obviously. Still missing the big one, the championship, but you know, these stats are great. It's a huge testament to the team. But yeah, hopefully this is a good restart for our season. But yeah, hopefully we can continue on 15 wins.
Congratulations, Mitch.
Thanks, guys.
15 career wins then for Mitch Evans. Amazing job from him. Great drive and a proper display of calmness as well as control and precision over the course of a race that would have been very easy to lose your head. Mitch Evans managed to avoid that. Let's catch up though with the man who finished in second position, Nico Müller, pole to P2 at the checkered flag.
Hard-fought battle for your pole sitter, Nico Müller. Battles the whole time. How were you able to keep it up front? And a podium for your team, second and third.
Yeah, super pleased for the guys at Porsche Formula E. You know, we've worked very hard to get also myself integrated into the team quickly. Third weekend, both cars on the podium. I think we could only ask for a little bit more, but Mitch was just a tiny bit better today. You know, I think he really deserved that victory. Congrats to him. But just pleased for our team, lots of points, great day with pole position and P2 for myself, and that's what we're building on.
A great team day for Nico and Porsche.
Many congratulations to Nico Müller. Equals his career best result from Valencia 2021 with P2. He's scored in every race this season, so consistency is certainly something that's been in favour for the Swiss driver this year. Managed to outperform his teammate at the checkered flag, but a double podium for the Porsche team will be a very welcome result, especially for Pascal Wehrlein, started P11 on the grid to come through and finish in third position. Porsche, of course, getting on the podium for the second consecutive season. Both cars on the podium for the second consecutive season in Miami, actually, for that matter. Let's go down and catch up with Pascal Wehrlein then, P3 for the Season 10 World Champion.
It was second and third place finishes for both Porsche drivers, but Pascal Wehrlein, you started 12th, worked your way up to third. Did you use these conditions to your advantage today?
Yeah, it was a good race. Struggled a bit the whole weekend, and we found an issue on the car which probably compromised a bit everything that happened before the weekend or before the race. But still, yeah, I think P3 today was the maximum for us with that starting position, and it's a double podium for the team, a lot of points, so we can be happy with that. Nevertheless, I think with a better qualifying there was definitely the win possible.
Obviously wanting the win today, but when you say third is about all we have, and the team has gotten second and third today, how big is that for the team as a whole?
It's a lot of points, need to calculate. 36 points this weekend with Nico's pole position. So it's definitely one of our best weekends in terms of points collection. It's still early into the season, it's just a third race, and we are banking those points, which is important for the rest of the season.
12th to third today for Pascal Wehrlein.
Thank you.
Well, an absolutely superb race here in Miami. Huge congratulations, Mitch Evans, making history, taking the new top spot, 15 Formula E career wins. Unbelievable in his 128th start for Formula E. Quite an achievement, Billy, particularly because it hasn't been the easiest start for him, has it? You know, Jaguar, they've had a lot of changes, team personnel. He's got a new teammate as well. And finally, it's great to see them back on top.
Yeah, it's been a surprise, I think, after a couple of races up until this one, that they hadn't scored any points. Like, a team of the prestige of Jaguar that's been in this championship for a long time, that's fought for championships themselves, none of us expected it in the paddock. So I think it's a bit of a relief for them, and it's a bit of a return to form for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure it is a huge relief, not only for Mitch Evans, but also for their new team principal, Ian James, who's now with Alexa. Let's hear from him.
Ian James, P9 to P1, cool, calm, collected. What a drive from Mitch.
Yeah, I mean, this weekend's been, as usual, full of ups and downs, and we had to do a rear-end swap on Mitch's car before the race. It was a decision that we took based on the free practice results we had. So all that hard work, and it's in there, so well done, buddy. Your time will come. Yeah, all that hard work has definitely paid off. So a phenomenal result for Mitch, for the whole team.
And we've got to say it, your first win as team principal.
I know. It's going to take a little while for that to sink in, I think. But no, it's mega. I just couldn't be more proud of the team. It's been a testing start to the season, so we really needed a big result here. It could have been so much different, I think, for Antonio as well. So a great shame for him, but some really important points on the board. His time, as I've just told him, will come for sure as well. But this is Mitch's day. He's deserved it, and I hope he's going to celebrate well.
Go enjoy the celebrations.
Some brilliant words there from Ian James, you know, hugely supportive of Mitch Evans, but also telling Antonio Felix Costa that the time will come for him. But let's take a look at some of those magical moments from Mitch during the course of the race, Billy.
Yeah, I'm sure Ian James was a little bit nervous with this one, because that's the two Jaguar drivers, Mitch Evans alongside his teammate Antonio Felix Costa, going side by side. A good move from Mitch there, and you could tell from Mitch's attitude in the car, the body language of the car. He had a lot of confidence in where he was placing it. This is the move that eventually secured him the win. So going down into the last corner, going wide, getting that switch back, the traction that he was able to get off that final corner. In conditions like this, with these cars, traction is critically important, and it felt like he was just confident with what he had underneath him in those slow speed corners to get those exits, to continue that momentum, and it was helping him to be efficient with energy as well.
And it felt like the right strategy call, didn't it? That kind of leading pack, the 6-7 drivers who decided to take that early attack mode, it paid off.
I was really surprised that that wasn't a strategy more across the board. There was quite a difference in strategy from those top drivers that sort of got away at the start to the ones that were more conserving energy. But the worst of the conditions was at the beginning of that race. So taking attack mode, having four-wheel drive, you really gained a significant advantage from doing that, and also got yourself out of the trouble. In the rain, the spray that's involved, and for those drivers at the front, they had clear track position. They were able to deliver and utilise that attack mode till its full effect. And for me, it's not a surprise to see that it worked.
And is it a surprise to see the Porsches back on the podium? Not really. They've had so much success here in Miami at the past. Obviously, this is a completely different track. But Nico Müller fighting at the top there. Pascal Wehrlein also took that early attack mode, which obviously played into their advantage, and to see them both enjoying some success.
Yeah, I think Pascal Wehrlein's drive was really strong. I think he used attack mode. I think he was one of the most efficient drivers using that attack mode. I think Nico Müller, having started on pole, will be slightly disappointed that race got away from him. Obviously, he was fighting with Felipe Drugovich when he was at the front, and I think potentially those two were sort of tripping over each other a little bit, not being the most efficient with energy, and that allowed Mitch to come through.
But we, again, you know, we haven't seen a Porsche on the podium so far this season, so it's interesting that, you know, Jaguar has suddenly risen back up to the top, Porsche is rising back up to the top, so really challenging for the likes of Nissan. Where was Oliver Rowland?
Yeah, I mean, Oliver Rowland's race and his day has gone from bad to worse, because qualifying, his teammate found something with that car that he couldn't find, Norman Nato, who managed to make it through to the duels. But in the race, just the strategy didn't feel right. It felt like they tried something different, maybe because they were starting further down. Also, when we have these mixed conditions, we don't get the typical racing, which is what Oliver Rowland excels at. So I think potentially his advantages and his strengths were taken away today with the conditions.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've got to give credit to Sam Bird. He called it yesterday, I think, and said, you know, in the wet, Jaguar always do really well. And yeah, he got it right.
Yeah, that's a perks having Sam Bird on the team.
Yeah, he knows their intricate secrets. Brilliant. Well, it is now time to enjoy the podium celebration. Let's spray some champagne. Tom, over to you.
Well, I have to say that Sam Bird was nodding in agreement with that one, and I'm not surprised at all. Fair play.
Of course I was.
Never
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Never doubted
I enjoy
it.
calling the race as it is and getting it right all the time.
Yeah, great job from Mitch Evans and indeed for the Jaguar team. Great also with Alan Cox, race engineer. Sort of that relationship began second half of last year.
Again, I called it earlier.
Yeah.
Great engineer.
You did.
Did say that.
You got the lottery numbers for Tuesday? Or?
No, not yet. He hasn't given it to me. But no, he did. This.
They want the numbers, don't they, Jack? As well. I think that's some nice things coming through. But what an outstanding race, honestly. It was just brilliance upon brilliance upon brilliance. What did you make of it then, overall? There you go. Hello, what do you make of it?
Sorry, it was one of those, wasn't it? It was about the attack mode and when was the attack mode going to be used at the right time. And to be fair, I thought Müller and Drugovich and all that lot had taken the attack mode quite early and got that gap. But then I just watched, as slowly as they were fighting, that the Jaguars were just slowly creeping up on them. And then all of a sudden, they took attack mode. Nobody else took attack mode because they'd already taken their first ones. They'd saved those 4 and 6 minutes attack modes, and they used them to perfection. And Mitch Evans, I did think he had a great chance to win this race. You know, when he only took 2, whereas the Costa took 4. I don't think, even if the Costa was still in the race, I don't think the Costa would have won. I think, you know, they were looking strong for a 1-2 Jaguar. They really did. It looked like it just came at the perfect time. And they're very good at doing that, Jaguar. And it's good to see that they've done it, because they've mastered races before. I remember Monaco with Cassidy and Evans. They mastered that with the tight, knowing it was overtaking, you know, backed off to allow them to win. And they managed this one perfectly. So, fair play.
Pascal Wehrlein will go on to the podium. DeGrasse is under investigation, by the way, for cutting the chicane at turn 7. And Mortara is going to the E-Pad. Where's he going? Pascal Wehrlein has left the podium. Oh, he's picked up his daughter. He's going to take his daughter onto the podium. Okay, that's sweet. I like that. That's a good news little story there to come into it. Trying to get my data system working for the Apex chat. Here we go. 15th career win, establishes a new Formula E record, surpassing Sebastian Buemi's previous mark to come into it. But for Pascal Wehrlein, peeing in P3, Porsche get both cars on the podium Miami for the second consecutive season, having not scored a single podium finish this season before today. Nico Muller, he scored points in every race this year, equals his best career result set at Valencia in 2021. But Mitch Evans in P1, what a record breaker for him. He breaks 1,000 career points. It's the 27th victory for New Zealand drivers in Formula E, only 2 short of the all-time record, which is set by Great Britain. And for Mitch Evans, Jaguar have either won 5 times or failed to score completely 2 times in the past 7 races. And as I said, it's the 15th career win for Mitch Evans, establishing a new Formula E record, which is absolutely insane to witness. What a result. A new record for the most wins of all time. And it's by someone who's not even a champion. How does that happen, Jack?
He's been in it a long time though, hasn't he?
There's 15 wins. We should rename him Sterling Moss. Well, we will hear the New Zealand national anthem and then the British national anthem on the top of the podiums. What a party atmosphere. Here it is then, the New Zealand national anthem.
He now flies here in Miami. We now get ready for the national anthems to play.
And now we will hear the British national anthem for Jaguar TCS Racing, who have done a wonderful victory
the
today.
United Kingdom to play out for Jaguar TCS Racing.
A wonderful reception in front of the driver's jack, and it is the laurel wreaths being brought onto the podium as well. Mitch Evans thoroughly deserves that one, and now he is a record holder. What do you think we're going to see in the doubleheader in Jeddah in 2 weeks' time?
God knows. Something different. Dry race, no rain.
Yeah.
Probably over there. Pit boost comes back, so that will add an element. First time we'll see a pit boost this season, so that's something else to play with. A double header as well, the first double header of the season, which will be good. I think we're all kind of looking forward to a double header and having 2 races, because we feel like today could have, we should probably be back tomorrow, but we'll see if that happens in the Gen 4 era. But I suppose I don't want too many double headers, but at the same time you feel like this could be a perfect one.
Agreed.
But every race could be a perfect double header. That's the argument that some people may say as well. But I don't know. Jeddah, it's going to be crazy. Like, did I think whichever's going to win today? No. But it just shows you anything can happen. Look at Barnard, he was up there and just got it all wrong. And so many teams got it so wrong, and it just shows you if you get it wrong, you're in no man's land. So it's such a specific sport, and to get it right is everything.
Third place will come through. We've already, well, actually, that is the trophies all presented out. We'll have the top spot coming. Next is the FIA medal by Alessandro Gag. And he'll present the FIA medal on top there. And then we'll have the trophy by Tara Brady, the president of Google Cloud. Will present the winner's trophy to Mitch Evans, who will take a record-breaking 15th career win in ABB Formula E. Evans is victorious! What a shocker. What a brilliant race. And now, as ever, it's champagne time! Brilliant action, unusual race. It started behind the safety car, didn't see that one coming. A load more interest and intrigue. What does Jeddah hold next? What a fantastic event. Next up, double header in Saudi Arabia. Well, we've got a bit of time to talk now before we head back down to Nikki Shields. Let's confirm how they finished here today. It is a victory for Mitch Evans. As we said, his 15th career win establishes a new Formula E record coming into it as well. Breaks the 1,000 career points barrier. Nico Müller in second equals his best result set at Valencia in 2021 and scored in every race so far this year. Pascal Wehrlein in third. Porsche gets both cards on the podium for the first in Miami for the second consecutive season, having not scored a single point podium finish this season before today. Ericsson in P4, his best career start and finish in Formula E career. De Vries P5, best result of the season, first ever Miami points, including when he raced at the track in F1 in 2023. And Mortara in P6 finishes in the top 6 in Miami for the second consecutive year. And Mahindra scored double top 6 finish in their 150th E-Prix start. 7th for Buemi, started last on the grid today and his first ever points despite 3 appearances. Da Costa P8, first points of the season despite being hit by Felipe Drugovich, and the only driver to have scored in all 3 Miami E-Prix ever held. Jose Maria Martin 9th, back-to-back points finishes in Mexico and Miami, and Jake Dennis in 10th position, first time outside the top 5 this season. Maloney, P11, misses a second career point by 1 position. Rowland in 12th, pointless after podium finishes in the opening 2 races this season. Degrassi, P13, back-to-back 13th place finishes without finishing higher this season. Cassidy, P16, that ends a 5-race podium finish streak, tied for the second longest in Formula E history. And then further down as well, we'll have Norman Nato, Drugovich, Gunther and Ticktum in 20th position. Cassidy leads the Drivers' Championship on 40 points. Wehrlein will now be on 38 to Dennis 37. Oliver Rowland has 34 with Nico Müller 33. Mitch Evans on 26, the same as Eduardo Mortara. Joel Ericsson's on 18 with Sebastian Buemi on 13. And Taylor Barnard has 12 championship points going through. Nick de Vries also now has 12 with Maximilian Gunther on 8, as well as Pepe Marti. Antonio Felix da Costa on 4, the same as Jean-Eric Verne. Zane Maloney on 1, same as Norman Nato. No points for Drugovich, Degrassi or Ticktum. Further back then in the teams standings, coming in after this one, it's Porsche leading the way on 71 to Citroen Racing on 44. Mahindra now pick up 18 today to go to 38. They're a point ahead of Andretti on 37. Nissan have 35 with Envision on 31. Jaguar have 30. DS Penske on 20. Cooper Cairo on 8. Lola Yamaha Apt on just 1. In the Manufacturers' Championship, as it currently stands after the opening 3 races, Porsche lead on 88 points, Stellantis has 63, Jaguar 56, Nissan 43, Mahindra 40, and Lola have 12. Well, Jack, what did you make of that one before we head back down to Nikki and the team as well, going into the next few races? We've got a little bit of time for the press conference.
Yeah, it was a really good race. I really enjoyed it. I've just finished sort of writing the report and just putting that out on Formula E Zone. So doing 400 jobs at once whilst
Well
being
done.
on camera. But you know, it's Formula E. You don't know. That's why I went with the crazy prediction of Mortara to win from 16th, because I was like, it's too obvious to say that these people at the front are going to win. And Formula E races don't tend to do that. They tend to, something bonkers happens, and you're just trying to work out what it was. And there was, you think but the bonkersness was actually the field spread, and that the Jaguars came from nowhere to put themselves in contention at the right time, to be at the right place at the right time. So a really just well thought managed race. And I've just written, because we put some tweets out as well, and someone disagreed. I thought it could arguably be one of the best races in Formula E, and they said they thought it was a bit average because it didn't have that pack, that unpredictability. You kind of knew what was going to happen. I said, yeah, but it's kind of refreshing, I think, to have a different style of race, because every race so far this season has been peloton, right, and has been that the lead changing every 2 seconds. And I think it was really nice today to have a race where that didn't happen, and there was strategy involved, and you saw how many teams made mistakes or decided, you know what, we're going to gamble. I couldn't believe how many teams gambled on a safety car.
Just quickly, just a quick analysis here. We're looking on our screen. This is Drugovich into the back of Da Costa. What did you make of that then, Jack?
Drugovich has just got it all wrong, hasn't he? He's outbraked himself, got a 10-second time penalty for it. One for Stewart's watch, but I think we probably agree with the stewards on this one. I don't think the stewards have got much wrong this weekend,
No.
But when we'll have another look at it when we get to obviously Stewart's watch as well. But yeah, that's unfortunate now, and that's twice for Drugovich in good positions where he's crashed out. He can't keep having a habit of that. Yes, it's tricky conditions. He's shown he's merited in Formula E, right? He's shown he is good enough to be in this series, but you can't make mistakes like that. And he'll learn. It's fine. It's his rookie season. He's allowed to make it. But if you're Roger Griffiths, and knowing Roger Griffiths as well as I do, he's a fierce competitor. And you can't be doing that every week, because you won't find yourself in a drive no matter how good you are. So it's now turning that pace into potential for him.
Okay, let's head down then and join Alexa. She's with Antonio Felix da Costa after that accident. Let's hear what he has to say now.
Antonio Felix da Costa, your bad luck just continues. That incident with Felipe, can you just talk me through it?
What is there to say? I know these guys don't do it on purpose, but it's the second rookie that hits me this year flat out. Luckily, I was able to keep going and salvage something. But yeah, we were in there to fight for it, and I picked up some damage from that. There's no one there. Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, as we saw, you were fighting at the front, Mitch with the victory. You guys have the pace.
Oh yeah, that's never been the issue. So yeah, super happy for the team. We came into this weekend with 0 points, so to get a win and double points for the team, it's good. It's the beginning of our season, just kick-starting now.
Glad to hear it. Good luck. Thank you, Antonio.
Yeah, and definitely I think that's going to be a crisis point sort of coming into it as well, isn't it? It's just the start of Jaguars' season. They did pick up points today, Da Costa in 8th and Mitch Evans picking up the race victory. So they sort of shot them right up the championship order when they needed it most.
Yeah, they did. It was going to happen. They weren't going to be bottom of the standings for long. So to show this, and it just shows you that they might not be the overall fastest, but if the overall fastest packages of Porsche and Nissan don't have a great day like they did today, I think Porsche did well to recover Verline's race from P12 on the grid to get that podium. But it just shows you if Jaguar are there to take advantage, if there's any slip-ups in strategy or just pace on the day.
Just got some more data coming through here. This is Pascal Verlaine in his charge up through the race here. What an astounding run he was up to. Just constantly charging through the field, picking up overtakes one by one. He was really strong.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's just, it was the right time as well for them. They took that attack mode early, and all of a sudden, they've got a good chance of being in that fight to win the race. He took that for, I think, the 6 minutes. It proved, we were talking about this earlier, the 2 minutes at the beginning for the 6 minutes later. And that proved, massive, because Verline took 4, that means they had 4 left, but Evans had 6, Muller had 6, so that enabled them to keep hold of their first and second position, basically. And if they did fall, they had a bit more time to recover it, whereas the likes of Verline, the Freeze, they didn't have that. So the 2 minute, 6 minute was the optimum strategy, and they both of them managed to do well. And, Porsche, you expect, I think Porsche do make a lot of mistakes, and I think there was even people in the stream. I saw someone waiting for Porsche to bottle it, but they didn't bottle it today, and they got it right, and fair play, because they didn't win the race, but a second and a third is a solid result.
We saw Dan Tickton 4th retirement in 6 races. That's just getting worse for him, isn't it? You almost say, like, what's the point sometimes? It's ever since he won in Tokyo, it's just been slowly getting worse for him.
In Indonesia, but
India.
But yeah, I feel for Dan today. I know it's not his fault, but again, Dan does do these wacky when he's at the back. I do notice Dan does do these wacky strategies, which everybody else seems to also do today. Waiting for that safety car, trying to have enough energy, just in case that. But you can't. You can't do that.
I don't have all the. I did see the weather radar. It seemed pretty conclusive that it was going to be wet throughout the whole race. However, the decision was made by the team. Some of my input, but I don't like to blame others too much. We are a team and we all work together, but they were pretty unanimous in keeping me on dry pressures. And for those of you who don't know, if you're on dry pressures on a wet track, you just get no heat in the tyres, so it's just a waste of time. So, yeah, we essentially, I wouldn't call it as much of a gamble, but, it's technically hard to get to the points from 18th, so I understand the risk. But, I'm a pretty good driver in the wet. I think we shouldn't have taken as much risk, and I should have been put on wet pressures, not dry pressures.
I heard your radio. I can see you here now a little bit, I don't want to say crestfallen, but it's been a tough season for you, hasn't it?
Pointless, just literally. It's been a waste of my time. I may as well have just sat at home and worked on other things.
Thank you, Dan.
Sounds completely heartbroken, doesn't he, Jack? Completely heartbroken.
I love Dan. Interesting. So I wonder if other teams have done this as well and just misread the rain. Because that's shocking. But then what did they do with Pepe Marti? Pepe Marti's come home with 2 points. So I don't understand that. I don't understand how that's happened. It felt like, because obviously the Nissans were nowhere as well. I don't know. That has me more puzzled. That's my thing with Formula E. I find that people make, really odd decisions. Right, and I was while Jaguar were really strong, like James Barkley was one of those who I said, he's loved in Formula E, but he really and truly, he never got asked the serious questions about, well, how did you let this title get away from you? Like, how did, Cassidy and Evans not win a title that day? And with the decisions that were made, and I just feel like those are decisions, if that's happened. And it's quite clear, we had Josh telling us at qualifying, right, that it's going to be a wet race. Yeah. And so if it was clear for us to see that it was going to be a wet race, how is it not clear for them? They're supposed to be one of the best in the business. That is a really, really strange interview in a strange answer, and I can see why he's dejected. But he said he had some input in that. What was his input? Because clearly, was he agreeing with them? Was he disagreeing with them? Because it sounded like from his interview that he was
disagreeing.
I would say agreeing with them.
I'd go dis.
Because he said I had my input in it as well. He was not trying to put the blame on them. It's like he was sort of saying, "All right, I kind of see your point, but I don't. Maybe to be better towards the end of the race, I would like. I think there's a bit more that's not been said in that because." He said he's not blaming other people, and he said and I think maybe he's doing that for his own PR kind of sense. But you know, that didn't sit right with me. But then also, did others do that too? Which would be really interesting to see if we can get hold of what other people said in that race.
Well, we've got the press conference coming up in around about 5 minutes' time. That's when it's due to go green. So we'll hear a couple more, as we know that the World Feed have disappeared offline now. But we'll stay on to bring you the post-race press conference, and then Omi will rejoin us in the broadcast, and we'll get a few more. So stay tuned here on JV Motorsports and Formula E Zone. We will have all of the latest action to deliver to you with our press conference in 4 minutes' time. JT, if you are anywhere near a microphone, give me a yes or no. What did you make of that one then, from angling around with Miami weather? We know you hate it so. Yeah, I'm still there. I thought he might not be. We'll hold back on that one. But yeah, it was, as you said, it was completely mad on the weather, wasn't it, in this one? Because it sort of went dry, then didn't go dry. So it was changing every second almost about how much it was actually going to be a wet race or a dry race.
Yeah. You have to play what's in front of you, right? You have to, you've got to see what's happening. And once, I don't know when they can make those changes, but if they can make those changes on the grid it was wet.
Yeah,
right?
and then the safety car start. That was the wrong call in my book.
Well, I get it and I don't get it. I get it because, yes, they don't get a formation lap. So they could have done a formation lap and then, so I would have understood it for one lap. And I think one lap was acceptable enough to do. They did 4. Was it wet for 4? No, there was no spray. And the Sandbird said that it was really nice to have a wet race with no spray. So it was intermediate weather. Like it was, you're starting, it's not full wet. It's an intermediate start. But
we're going to have the chance, actually, to take a look at the race shortly as well, I believe. We've got that coming up on our monitors, so we'll have a look shortly. I'll try and share it with you, Jack, as well, so that you can actually see what is going on. I might have to share a whole screen. That's how mad it's going to be. So you might have a bit of a Duplo there. But if you can see it, get ready. We'll go through the race shortly. But yeah, in total, yes or no, was that race a good result for Formula E or a bad result for Formula E? Because Miami's been hit and miss.
Sense?
Well, Miami's been hit and miss for Formula E. First race here, we didn't have practice. We had to have a 30-minute session before going to qualifying. Then last year we moved it to a whole new venue. We were at the Speedway, Homestead. That was boring and didn't work, and resulted in a red flag with the chicane being blocked and everything. This year, rain affected, slightly more dramatic, but we keep moving around. Is that a good result for Formula E?
I think so. It was a good race. I think, I think it was a good result for Formula E. We did it. It was successful. We had, we had a bit of drama. We had incidences. I think overall it was a good race. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, I think all was well.
Just trying to have a look and see if... I've got the press conference. Okay, I guess we're going to have to go to the press conference first because that is the one that's become available. So we won't have the... I'm kind of waiting to see if we'll have the race VNR be deployed, which is really annoying. I can't seem to pause it, which is bad. So we might miss that and not be able to go through complete analysis of the race. I'll tell you what, I'll try and record it. I'll just set that up. Right now, though, let's go down and have a word with our drivers. Oh, hello. Oh, I'm trying. It's gone wrong. So that's already a brilliant start, isn't it, to all this? We'll hopefully have 30 seconds time. We'll be able to go back and we will hear our drivers in the press conference, our top 3 from this event as well. And fingers crossed it's going to be a good one. Okay, let's go down to them now and we will hear our top 3 drivers.
Well, welcome to the post-race drivers' press conference following the 2026 Miami E-Prix Round 3 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship here at the Miami International Autodrome. As you'll see in front of us, our top three are on at the stage. Pascal Wehrlein from Porsche Formula E, Nico Müller from Porsche Formula E, and now the driver with the most race wins in Formula E history with Jaguar TCS Racing, Mitch Evans. Mitch, congratulations. Let's get it out of the way. I think you've got to shave your head now, haven't you? Isn't that the tradition that seems to have been started by
I wasn't stupid enough to accept that. But to be honest, I would have.
Good.
I can more than happy shave my head for a race win. That's fine.
Do you think he looks good?
No comment.
No comment. Absolutely. Obviously, 15th race win, meaning now you are the driver with the most race wins. How does it feel to be back on that podium after a maybe tricky start to the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's a special milestone, I guess. Yeah, 15 wins. It's a good number. Obviously, I want to continue. I feel like I've still got things I want to do in this championship. Obviously, the big one is still lingering, but yeah, something to be proud of, and hopefully it can kind of lead us to reset our season. It's been a really tough start. Raw pace, not quite there, especially in the dry this weekend. It's been surprisingly bad. So the rain really saved me. Yeah, that's still in the back of my mind. I know ultimate pace is still lacking a little bit. Yeah, I need to work hard to if I'm going to have a crack at this championship or get things back on track properly. But yeah, today in the wet, the car was hooked from the first corner, and I don't know what they did. I guess we have to do the opposite in the dry because it's worked well in the wet. But just full credit to the team. They gave me honestly a rocket ship, and that makes life so much easier, especially in these conditions. You can kind of dictate when you want to do your attacks. I could get close to the front without doing any attacks when everyone had done an attack in front of me. But yeah, I was picking cars off a lot easier than I was expecting, and then it was just trying to cover off Nico. He was also really quick. It was just once I got ahead of him, it was just obviously trying to cover him off for the last attack we both had 6 minutes left, but I just had enough pace to be able to keep him behind. So yeah, super happy. Wasn't expecting that going to the race or waking up today, but I'll take it, and hopefully it's a nice resetter for us.
You talk about obviously getting ahead of him. Talk us through that move. Was that something that were you always planning that opportunity would be the best one on that last corner?
I didn't really know. I mean, I think the last corner is the most obvious. It's probably the safest because if you go a little bit long, it's not too penalizing. And then if, obviously they have to defend, and then, you can get the crossover on traction. And my traction was amazing today. And I knew I had a good advantage there. So yeah, once he defended, I knew I'd cross him over, and it worked out. So, but that seemed to be the most obvious place to overtake. Maybe turn one as well, but obviously our pace was similar, so it was just trying to find the right time.
Given the start to the season you had, where neither of the Jaguar TCS Racing drivers had scored a point before this race, was there something inside you that was maybe being a little extra cautious, especially with the rain coming down?
It's a hard one. You can approach it two ways. You can be, a bit more bullish and like, okay, I need points on the board, or sometimes being cautious in this championship, it penalizes you more. And that's kind of what happened to me in Mexico. I was playing the long game in the race, and I got hit massively, and it destroyed my race. In this race, it's about you just got to survive and run to the pace you've got and just not make mistakes. So there wasn't any big risk within the race. Obviously, if it was dry, it would have been different with pack racing and peloton style. So I didn't need to take any unnecessary risk. I just kind of had that raw pace, which just makes life a lot easier.
Back when we raced in New York, it was tradition to jump in the water. How are you celebrating? I mean, there's a beach not far away. You could,
if everyone wants to go to the beach, let's go.
Road trip. Let's get on the bus.
But
how will you be celebrating in the 305 tonight?
Let's see. There's some good options here.
Too many, it seems.
I probably shouldn't say, but I got some things in mind.
Okay, we'll look forward to the socials on that. Congratulations again, Mitch Evans. Your race winner with Jaguar TCS Racing. Nico Müller, Porsche Formula E, starting on pole position. I've got ask you first of all, how's your ankle though? Because the podium looked like it took a bit of a tumble there.
No, I was fine, all for the show. No, really good day, and there was just not quite enough to keep Mitch behind in the race. He really deserved that one, so congrats to him again. Yeah, would have loved obviously to grab the win when you start from pole, but I'll take it. Double podium for Porsche and. Kind of repaying their confidence in me, and really thankful for the hard work they put in, right? It's, always coming to a new venue, a bit of a dive into the unknown, plus the conditions we had today. So to come away with the haul of points that we managed together with Pascal today, I think is making it definitely a very good one.
After getting pole position and obviously the car going out to the grid, the rain started. What was going through your head then? Was that a good thing or a bad thing?
Honestly, I think this is probably the one where you start on pole. You're actually happy when it rains, because it was going to be such an energy dominated race if it was dry, that maybe, even though it sounds strange, there was less chaos expected in the wet. And I think we got confirmation. There was no real interruption, right? No full Cristiello, no safety car. I only heard a crunch behind me once, so I guess, that was just what I hoped for, to be very honest, starting from pole. Even though, going into the wet, it's also diving into the unknown in terms of your performance, right? When you have a weekend where the car is performing great in the dry, you're hesitant saying, okay, I'm happy to go into the wet now when it comes to go and grab the points. But I was confident that we were going to have a good package. I always felt comfortable driving in the rain, so happily, I got confirmation of that.
You've obviously been very familiar with the Porsche powertrain for a little while, but obviously now in the sort of Porsche factory team, how's it been in those first 3 races with a teammate that obviously pushes you all the way?
Yeah, really good. Honestly, I enjoy the work. It's a privilege to represent this brand as a works driver in an official FIA World Championship, and I just want to enjoy this opportunity, make the most of it. I really enjoy the work together with the team, together with Pascal. They're going at things super professionally, and I think from the get-go, I've also felt comfortable in the car. Even though it's the same car to last year, I was surprised how different these cars can feel. So there is a process of adaptation, right? I'm still in that phase of integrating into the team. The processes are very different to what I've had in the past. You work with new people, you kind of have to gel with those guys, to start speaking the same language, especially technically, right? Because in Formula E, it's these small details that make the difference. And, we've managed to kind of put, I think, most things right this weekend, but also in Mexico and in Sao Paulo, honestly, in terms of pure performance, I was pretty pleased with how things were going. We could have probably taken away more points in both of those previous rounds when it comes to pure performance. Maybe a bit unlucky here and there, but that's part of Formula E, right? When you get the opportunities, you need to maximize them. Today we got close to maximizing, but we're going to just keep trying even harder. The hunger is just growing.
Well, congratulations again, and we'll move on to Pascal. Another great result for you in Miami. What is it about this town that seems to connect with you?
Until the race, I wasn't sure if that was the case today. Struggled a bit the whole weekend. Wasn't happy with the car and how it behaved, so it was quite hard work for us to fix it and to find the issue. Luckily we fixed it in the end, brought us a double podium. So that is good, that is positive. Obviously coming from P12 onto the podium is always a nice result. We had the pace, and it's a good result for the whole team, lots of points, which is important.
Yeah, so obviously you now have a big lead in the Teams and Manufacturers Championship by over 25 points in each one. How's the garage vibe then? It must be a good place to be when you go back downstairs.
I'm sure it's better now than before the race. I think, like I said, we can be happy. I mean, a double podium is always beautiful for the team. Would have been better if one of us would have won the race, but I think there are not many weekends where you score more than 30 points for the team, and I think everyone will be happy with that. Nevertheless, like you said, it's there will be a small feeling of we want that win.
I don't think anyone's more pleased for you than your daughter, who we saw on the podium again.
Yeah.
Are we at the stage now where she expects to be on the podium when you are?
She expects to be on the podium when she's here. Yeah, is a lot of pressure for me.
So how do you manage when she's here but you're not on the podium? Does she expect that maybe she can sneak on with someone else, or does she understand?
I wouldn't let her go onto podium without someone else. Maybe Nico. Nico, I would.
Uncle Nico.
Uncle Nico is allowed
Experience,
to
yeah.
take her onto the podium.
Well, she had a great time, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
It was good to see you celebrating. I think we have time for a couple of questions. If anyone would like to ask a question, raise your hand. A microphone will appear. Anyone else? There we go.
Nick Golding, Racing News 365. Questions to all three. Obviously, we saw the race start behind the safety car before the standing start. Were you pleased to see that happen, and what were your thoughts on how many laps there were behind the safety car?
I think actually it's a rule. It's a rule when it's the first time wet for the weekend at the start of the race. It needs to be behind the safety car, or at least to check the conditions, if I'm not wrong.
I've got no idea.
I'm 94% sure.
At least it makes sense. I'm signing that. But yeah, I think it did make sense. Maybe one lap less would have also been fine, but it was the right call, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to judge the conditions, right? Obviously, it was not for spray. It was just to give us a bit of a feel. And I think it was kind of good for that. But, yeah, I didn't really see any issue with it. I mean, when you win, you don't see any issue with anything. But I don't know if there's been complaints, but I thought it was sensible what they did.
And Bruno had fun. He nearly lost it once. I don't know if anyone saw it.
You don't see much from P9, so.
No. Turn 2, he nearly lost it. On the curve.
I'm sure that'll be a clip on social media at some point. Anyone else for a question?
Sorry, Bruno.
Okay, over here.
Nico, it seemed like the drivers starting up front all used attack mode very early. And it strung the field out. Was that the intent of it, or just to try to get on top of things in questionable conditions?
Yeah, I think, it makes life a little bit easier with four-wheel drive in these conditions. And in the position we were, Felipe was straight away going for attack mode, so we were kind of wanting to stay with him, right, and not getting swallowed up by the field. So the call was basically made for us, right? And when you're at the front early on in the race, you're basically able to react to what's happening around you, and that's basically what we did. And yeah, that's the only real reason that we took the first activation that early, and I think then everybody tries to wait as long as he can afford to, right, with the second one, because you never know, is there going to be an intervention? And yeah, that's why I think it played out the way it did.
Okay, one more, just here with Dom.
It's another year and another new location in the United States for Formula E. There's talk of a second race that's likely to happen next year. What are the three of yours thoughts on racing in the United States, and how do you feel about two races over here?
I mean, bring it on. Yeah, I think it's a huge market. It's obviously really helped F1, so we should be definitely pushing to be to go into other key cities. I don't know what's in the pipeline. You sound you know more than me, but also for manufacturers, it's a huge market. So it's very important for the championship and brands involved to be here. A lot of our partners are based in the States. Yeah, more is great.
Yeah, not much to add. I think he summed it up perfectly. There's some cool places to go to as well, which would always be a privilege, right? If you get to race into some of these cool cities that the US have to offer. So yeah, can't wait to find out which ones are on the table. And I guess, yeah, if there's a second or even a third one coming into the calendar, why not?
I think we all need to have a word with Dom and see what Dom knows. One more question in the middle here. The microphone will just come across to you.
What makes Miami track so challenging for all of you?
So what, sorry?
What makes Miami track so challenging for all of you? It's a challenge. It's a new track. Yeah.
I mean, this has been challenging for me because I've had no pace, so every corner feels challenging. But I think the layout, it's obviously it's a short lap here, so you have to find a tenth for something is very difficult. So I think, and there's not a lot of technical corners, so it's hard to kind of drive around things. I'd love to do more of the F1 track personally, like the last sector. I don't know if I get in trouble for saying that, but yeah, obviously it worked out well. It would have been interesting in the race, but yeah, I would like to have a few more corners, I think, personally. But it was a challenge for me just because I was not quick.
It's not a very challenging track, to be honest. Quite a short track, like Mitch said, and not many corners. And it's not super technical as well. If you look at the data, you really brake only 5 times around the lap, and it feels like 5 corners. So yeah, it's not super challenging. I think we haven't experienced the real race here. If it would have been dry, I think the race would have been very chaotic, and a lot of slipstream, a lot of peloton. So in a way, it was good that it was wet. I think we would have seen a very different race. Yeah, and I agree. I would have definitely liked to have a bit of a longer lap, a bit more corners. Yeah, because everything, if you only have like 5 corners, is super tight together. Not a big difference between drivers and teams, and yeah, just is a bit more. That's probably the most difficult part about it.
Yeah, not so much to add. Maybe just, you know, that braking, I think, is one of the standout parts here after the long straight into turn 13, into turn 1. And when you're looking for those hundredths, because everybody's so close together, it's very easy to just overdo it a little bit and lock up a tire or just go a little wide. And it's that dancing on a very fine line around this lap because the margins are so small. So you know, the boost of adrenaline, let's say, is maybe bigger on other tracks that are more technical, more unforgiving in sort of their flowy fast sections. But here, that right level of commitment, I think, is what's needed to put the lap together, really. And then racing, again, really depends on the conditions you find out there.
Thank you very much for your questions. Thank you to our drivers. Congratulations again. You'll get your opportunity to speak to all of the drivers downstairs out the back with the driver media pen starting shortly. Thank you.
And that was the post-race press conference, done brilliantly in time. So we are about to have the boys join us up here in the commentary box. Omi standing by, and Jack's here too. Well, Omi, starting with you, what did you make of the interesting Miami E-Prix?
I think you say the word pretty much. Interesting was the race. Lots about when you go for the attack mode and how everything was going to play out. Happy we got the standing start. Happy we got all of that. I agree with, I would have definitely preferred it to be a one lap just formation lap and then racing up. So not the best handle, but at least we got the standing start. If we went for rolling, that would have been ridiculous. But in the end, we still got a race. We still got a great race as well. So that was interesting, but we'll wait and we'll see what will take place at Jeddah next time out.
Yeah, small cricket thing, as I forgot to switch the cameras back after Omi to come into it. Jack, what an interesting precipice now. 3 different teams, 3 different drivers winning the opening 3 races. Double header next time out. Is that the first opportunity that someone's got to really go, I'm having this championship, and take the double?
We did say that. We did say after Jeddah, it would be, you know, you'd start to know where this championship is going. And it's the same sort of drivers that we'd expect to be at the front now, but who's going to take that second victory? Who's going to go and, you know, take that march and really go forward now and, you know, make this championship their own? I think Jeddah will be a good sort of place for that, and if that can carry over into Madrid. So I think by Jeddah, Madrid time, we'll sort of know where this championship could be going. But at the moment, I have absolutely no idea because it is different every race. But I do agree with the drivers. We were talking about this aggressive peloton race, which we didn't see today. And maybe it was better that we had the rain, because I don't still think it's not the best look for Formula E having all these pelotons type of races. But I just want to say massive thank you to everybody who has also been watching. If you haven't subscribed to either Formula E Zone or JB Motorsport, do so now. Like, what are you waiting for? And we also have a book. I'm advertising. I'm in my advertising mode. If you're new to Formula E and you love Formula E and you want to get a stat tracker book and something that we've made, !book in Discord as well. To have a look and see if you can get that on Amazon as well. But yeah, absolutely amazing race, and yeah, only a couple of weeks now till Jeddah, so and doubleheader, and maybe those questions will be answered.
Hopefully so. Pico back in the booth for that one. So he has missed an interesting race. I can't wait to hear from him when he eventually trundles in. So thank you, Omi. Thank you, JT. Thank you, Jack. What an interesting weekend we have been given here at the Miami International Autodrome. Certainly, I think it's going to be one for... I don't want to say one for the future, but definitely it's going to be one that's going to be an entertaining strategy because nobody knows what we were going to see. Nobody knows exactly what was going to happen next. It was a unique challenge and a unique race. What will we tell when we go green in just a few weeks' time? Because we will be on the streets of Jeddah on the Jeddah Corniche circuit. I'm trying to get the outro on, but it's not seemed to be working. So, Omi, will I try and get that sorted again because it seems to have gone disappearing? Just tell me give me another fact going into it. What were you looking forward to?
Well, in terms of Jeddah, just looking forward to more racing, and I guess the feeling of that once you're done on the Saturday, oh, here we go. Well, that's Saturday done, but let's do it all over again on Sunday. I guess that's the I guess that's going to be the great feeling when we're basically at this phase of the Jeddah round that we get to do it all over again. But yes, Jeddah, I feel like I agree with what Jack was saying, that it's going to be an exciting and interesting round as it is usually for Formula E, but more importantly, it's also going to give us a bit of an indication of how this championship could possibly go, because we've had plenty of rounds which hasn't been suggesting that. So, you know, I think that's what we'll be able to get out of Jeddah. Who possibly is looking hot or not, maybe, for the championship.
I can't seem to play the outro. It doesn't seem to want to work. So we'll sign off. Thanks for your company this weekend. It's been a crazy one. It is Mitch Evans breaking the record for the amount of victories in Formula E. He now stands on top with 15. We'll see you in Jeddah in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.